This broadcast of ICC Athletics is being brought to you by Renaissance Bank, Little Caesars, Davis Ford, the Sonic of Fulton, Tupelo Coca-Cola Bottling Works, the Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi, First American National Bank, the ICC BSU, your Itawamba County Farm Bureau agent, Joey Cox, Cagle Eye Center, the ICC Foundation, the Bank of Okolona, and the ICC Alumni Association.
And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, out to the pitch this afternoon as ICC getting set to take on Meridian in non-division play. ICC, they had their sophomore day festivities for the women before the game, and the men will have theirs on Tuesday as Adam Gore and McKinley Holland coming in the broadcast. Matt,
hey, Adam.
What's happening, my man?
Not much, man. Glad to be here.
Well, appreciate you coming in and helping out with the broadcast today. You've been promising me all year, yeah, Gore, I'll come help. And, well, you didn't make a liar of yourself. You didn't wait till the last one of the year. But, Mac, I know you've got a vast history in soccer and much more knowledgeable than I am on the sports. So appreciate you coming in to talk to us today. And let's talk about it from the coaching perspective. A day like sophomore day, emotions are going to be high for the girls. How do you keep them reeled in early here on in the contest?
Well, I think with ICC's, for their sake, they've been doing things right 13 times in a row. So I think you keep everything as normal as possible, even though it is sophomore day. With that all being said, obviously there are emotions running high, like you said. A lot of them it'll be their last home soccer game, and a lot of them, they won't play after this year. So it'll mean a lot to them. But, I think the big thing for ICC is getting off to a normal, quick start and, getting the rhythm of the game, and I think they'll be fine.
ICC in the white kits, white tops, blue shorts. Meridian looks like they're in all black today. Numerals in green trimmed and white outline. ICC working right to left on your computer screen. We do welcome those that are watching here on Let'sGoICCTV.com. Feels like it was 15 hours ago I was on Let's Go ICC. Yeah, it was actually. We had football last night. The Indians able to come away with a big win at Southwest. Got home about 3 this morning. Took a quick nap, came back, and got things rolling here as
well, you're the hardest working man in SIDville.
Well, I appreciate that. And I got 2 good sidekicks with me as well, Lee Adams and Raphael Henry. They're here today. You can see photos of today's matches at ICCimages.com. Raphael Henry up top running the live stream here today. And we do want to welcome all of our fans that are watching south of 82 in Meridian. In support of the Eagles this afternoon. That ball goes out of bounds, and it will bounce towards the creek. And we've had some rain lately, so Firewater Creek is going to have some water in it. And for the second straight time now, they're going to have to throw in another ball. So a little bit of inconvenience part of the field here as 2 balls now in the drink. And kind of just a sluggish start to the match here just because you can't find a rhythm early.
Yeah, one thing, you say talk about rhythm, we've said it twice already. One thing that ICC's done well in the games that I've watched this year, man, is the way they spread the ball in the offensive third, man. It's they do a good job of layoffs, getting the ball into the corner to their outside mids, and then finding people in the box to finish, man. And you're seeing a good example of that here. Defensive back stepping up, playing the ball outside, and they'll work it back inside and out until they found the right shot.
Well, ICC with it now over to the middle. This is going to be Hallie Moore with it now over to Chanel, the West Georgia commit, dribbling through the middle of the traffic. Now fires from distance. Looks like it was partially deflected. We'll see. Yes, it will be a goal kick coming up here. Well, one thing I typically ask Coach.
We got a corner. I think it was
corner.
deflected.
Yeah, corner. Okay.
Which is weird because Chanel's having a really, really solid season. And it's interesting that they gave her that much space at the top of the box. I feel like if they continue to do that, then ICC will get a chance to score real early in this game.
Well, one of those keys right now is going to be making this corner opportunity dangerous here for the Indians as Meridian stacking everyone in. We'll see what ICC elects to do. They are going to go tall with it now, trying to go inside. Grace Joyce jumps a little too tall for her, and Meridian's going to clear it out, and it's going to be controlled by Josie Kate Reeves, who sends it ahead. Ball bouncing around, and it finds its way to the feet of number 19. That was Emily Hayward. Gets it out to Chanel. Chanel bumped a little. Good no call by the officials. Sets play on here.
It looks like, just based on what we've seen so far, that Meridian's, they parked the bus, in other words. They kind of know that they're a little outmatched. But, that's a really good strategy, whether it's, it's likable or not in soccer realm, I guess you'd say. But it can definitely keep a team off the board. So that'll be something to look forward to in the rest of this game for sure.
Well, Meridian comes in with a record of 3-11 and 1, 2-6 in the South. ICC winners of 13 straight. They're 14-3 on the year, 7-1 in the North. They do own a share of the North Division title. Can win it outright if Hines finds a way to upset Holmes a little bit later on today. So ICC with it now. Once again in the white jerseys. They squeeze this one ahead. This is Joyce with it now. Joyce going to look out wide to Hayward. Hayward, and a nice breakup that time on the sin, but Hayward leading the team in goals. She's got 16 goals, 5 assists on the year. Grace Joyce second with 11. Then you got Ashley Stevens, who has been a surge for the Lady Indians here over the past 2 weeks. She has 8 goals. Brittany Mathis, Sarah Witt, each with 6, and Lexi Loden and Allie Chanel with 5. So, Coach, when you look at that, of course, heavy up top with Emily and Grace,
sure.
But right in the middle there, a lot of scoring threats that can really makes you a little above average, dangerous team.
Well, absolutely, man. And we say that simply because there's a shot off by Chanel right there. That's a great shot, and then we might have a chance to follow.
Just too tall.
Just quite over the top. But no, you say that, to have those kind of numbers at the top between Hayward and Joyce, if the secondary numbers from the other players weren't as good, then you wouldn't see as many numbers, and not at the college level. So good distribution of goals for this team, man. So it makes you have so many dangerous players you can't key in on one or two.
Now let's talk about this 13-game win streak. Of course, 14 is the most wins in the program history. This 13-win streak is also the longest in program history. Not too shabby of a win streak as well. One of those wins includes knocking off nationally ranked Holmes to earn a share for the North Division. So, yes, it's fun to have that win streak, but also, Coach, some of that comes along with a little bit of added pressure on you trying to keep it going.
Yeah, and I'm assuming this is the last regular season game, correct? So, it's a lot of coaches believe in that whole thing where we want to get a loss before. I don't necessarily think the same way. I think you keep everything even keel, and especially next moving into the playoffs. I don't think that you change a whole lot because when you put an emphasis on it when you've done things so well and so right, the pressure adds up, and you don't want to be tense. You want to play your game. So. But 13 wins in the junior college level at soccer is incredible because there's so much turnover every year.
Right.
It's really, really difficult. Much less for one team to make the playoffs 2 years in a row because you're losing kids after 2 years. So, it's one of the more impressive streaks I can remember in quite some time, at least in girls soccer and the MAJC.
Ross with the ball now is going to send it out to the left side to Hayward. Hayward crosses over the defender, fires, but too tall. Nice move, nice aggressiveness now. We're starting to see ICC getting a few more shots at goal, not on frame just quite yet.
Just hadn't quite got set yet, man. A lot of these are leaning. Anytime you're leaning, the ball's going to sail to the side you're leaning to. And on that one, she just got under it a little bit and didn't quite get her plant foot set, but that was a good strike nonetheless.
Well, that's the voice of McKinley Holland joining us for today's broadcast. Mac, tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
What part? Oh, we got a handball.
Yeah, so tell everybody your soccer background. Of course, you and I, we're on the Miss 98 WCBI scoreboard show. Been friends for quite a while now. But tell everybody a little bit about your background of soccer and a little bit more about yourself.
Well, so I was the head girls soccer coach at Pontotoc High School from 2013 to 2018. And then, before that, I was an assistant at Tupelo for 3 years. And, of course, I played at Tupelo High School and just been around soccer my whole life. I love the sport, man. It was one of those things. I liked all the sports, but I think I was the best at this one. So I kind of liked it better than the rest for that reason. But, I'm also the head baseball coach for Tupelo 49ers American Legion team.
So you're a Niner?
I am a Niner. Yes, there's a lot of Niners out there. But and then of course in my professional life, I'm a funeral director's apprentice at Holland Funeral Directors. It's a family business, and I'm actually off work today to get to do this.
Yes.
Really, really, really blessed for that.
And now here comes Meridian. First time in a while, they're going to get the ball towards midfield and a chance to get it on their side of the pitch. They send it ahead. Nobody there. Good smothering defense that time out of the Lady Indians to be able to get this one back.
I think that Meridian's just trying to keep this game close because you notice right there they had a good counter and there were only 2 players up top. One because they'd sagged so many back defensively. There's a great ball forward to Hayward right there.
Hayward now on the left wing is going to let it settle, looking for someone on the cross. Sends it ahead. Oh, Joyce was there, but just a little bit too much. And
that's exactly how you draw it up right there. Just a little too tall on the finish. It looks like she could have let the ball get a little deeper, but good to see her strike the ball in the air.
So another opportunity there as ICC comes up empty. Nil is the situation. 36-33 left to play. All right, let's go back and talk about your soccer. Soccer is it's grown tremendously in the North Mississippi area over the past 5 years.
Man, absolutely.
Just talk about the growth of that, because whenever you were in the sport, it was more like the Tupelos, the bigger schools that had soccer, but now it's trickling down to the 2A, 1A schools as well. So just talk about the growth of the sport throughout North Mississippi.
Well, and I'm not 100% on this, but I played for Coach Danny Porter, the legendary Coach Danny Porter and Roger White at Tupelo High. And the program at Tupelo, I think, started in 1987. Of course, it was the first school around here to do it. And it's obviously kind of like the same way everything else is. The larger number of students you have, the more, you got stuff to get into. But, at the time, I think there were maybe 10 teams in the whole state. And now it's grown. It's kind of, it hasn't had the, I want to say the meteoric growth of volleyball, because of the weather. And a lot of kids, kind of obtuse to it. And the rec programs aren't quite as strong as some of the others. But, you see teams like Saltillo and Pontotoc and Lafayette and Oxford and there's so many schools, Amory, man, that around this area who have just over the years, the past 5, 10, 15, 20 years have been not just competitive around here, but in the entire state level as well.
Absolutely. You see a lot of those players trickle into the ICC program, both on the men and women's side. And you see a lot of those rivalries from high school carry over.
Yeah.
Into the junior college, of course, especially between, like I guess it's Madison Central and Tupelo.
Sure.
When you see the roster full of those two names, you're like, okay, you're going to have a fun match today.
Well, and I think one thing you definitely see, too, as far as you talk about high school rivalries and kids playing against each other is, soccer still for the most part stays sort of regionally, even though the state is open to recruit for junior college. I think it's one of those deals where, people want to stay closer to home if they're going to play soccer. So you see a lot of familiar faces in the area. That's a good ball in by Meridian there.
It's a little too tall in the header, but yeah, that one was money that time as it came off the foot of Bryn Boutwell. She's a freshman midfielder. And first good opportunity, actually the first opportunity period that Meridian's had, and they made it dangerous, just couldn't quite send that one home. Nil is still the situation, 34-15.
That may be the key for Meridian is trying to get set pieces. Of course, that was just an unfortunate foul for ICC, but on Ross. But that was a situation where Meridian could have got on the board early, and they didn't take advantage of it. But that'll be something to look into the rest of this game. So ICC's got the ball at midfield. They're moving the ball really, really well side to side, which I totally expected. It's really, really dangerous when they get the ball to Hayward's feet and then they work it back central to Chenal and Joyce, because the outside players for ICC are really, really quality from a standpoint of offensive third soccer, in other words.
Hall sends it ahead now. This is going to be Joyce with it, who tries to send it out Chenal. Nice tackle on the ball that time by Roberts to get it back to Meridian. Meridian in the all-black kits, ICC in the white and blue kits. Moving right to left on your screen, so obviously Meridian moving left to right. Scoreless here in the first of two games this afternoon. Men's match will be coming up next. Now, we will not have Sophomore Day festivities today for the men, as that will be Tuesday for their playoff game. Opponent to be determined. Now, here comes Hayward, fires, and that one just off the side of the net. Coach, the Indians just getting closer and closer and closer.
I think they're about to get one. I think it's just taking them a second to realize how Meridian's set up. And, I can't really tell the formation, but it looks like Meridian's in a full-blown 4-4-2 flat, which obviously is 4 defenders flat and then 4 midfielders flat. But it looks like the 2 center midfielders for Meridian are sagging back the second ICC gets the ball. Now, here's going to be an opportunity right here. If Witt can get around the defender, there's nobody in the box. Almost a corner, but it looks like they're going to get a goal kick out of that. But they're keeping the ball on this end of the field, man. I think it's a matter of time.
Yeah, it's one of those that just the odds and the percentages eventually will catch up with you in those situations, as ICC has dominated the field position, the time of possession throughout the contest here. 32:30 to go until halftime. Loose ball on the pitch, and Jada Ross comes up and pins ball it around, but then Meridian eventually finds it. Now they're going to squeeze this one ahead. This is going to be Spears with it now, trying to get to the outside. Maisie cuts her off, forces her outside. The shot is ahead, and Hall will break that one up. Coach, players that don't get a lot of credit, or at least doesn't show up much in the stat box, is that back line. We talked about Anna Wesley's success this year, but she's one of the first people to tell you her back line has been the reason why she's been so successful.
Absolutely, and the play of that back line is the reason why you're seeing what you're seeing now. It allows your forwards and midfielders to stay put and get scoring opportunities because your back line keeps it so clean. And they were able to possess the ball right there. But, yeah, man, just speaking of that back line, man, that's, as a coach, you always want your defense to be strong. You got to score in this game, but at the same time, you can't be beat if you don't give any up.
Absolutely. Ball being pinballed around right now and sent ahead. Jada Ross will let it settle at her feet. Jada sends it across the middle to Witt. Witt trying to get through some traffic, sends it out wide. Now this is Loden. Loden fires and directly at the keeper. You're right, Coach. Good shot opportunity, and one of those, the ball took kind of a funny little hop on her.
Yeah, it did. It wasn't the best of first touches, but, she still controlled the ball, had an opportunity at it. It's just a matter of going to the left or the right of the keeper at this point, man. They've been right at her or over the goal or to the left of the goal, so they'll hone in here shortly and really get this. Okay, here's an opportunity here. Nice. It may get all the way out. That was a great ball by Hayward. It kind of skidded through, but See, I think ICC's kind of worn their legs out right now, because they've made so many big runs. So, see, you can hear Coach Strother telling everybody to get higher because they want to win the ball in the middle of the field to keep it here because there's no scoring opportunity for Meridian so far.
And ICC gets it back across the way now, sends it ahead. This is going to be Joyce. Joyce surveying the defense, puts it across the middle to Hayward. Hayward lets it settle. Now he's going to dribble out to her right side, and a great job defensively to clear that one out. But it looks like we may have a foul come up here. And that's actually going to be a foul on Hayward.
That was a little shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of a let them play type situation. But, it was kind of after the ball left her foot. So he's closer than we are, in other words.
Yeah. You're a lot nicer than I am sometimes on calls.
Had I been standing where Coach Trevor was right now,
that's what I was going to say. Now, what would the coach say?
Well, I don't hear him, so he was probably thinking the same thing we are. He's closer than I am, so. See, this is what makes ICC's defense so good, man. They're willing to let their keeper possess the ball, and now they have it right back, and they're back into the offensive attack.
Yeah, Anna Wesley Driscoll, she's had an outstanding freshman year. Kind of got put into that situation.
Sure.
Wasn't expected to be the starter. Came in and did take over the starting role. She's gotten Conference Keeper of the Week 4 times this season. She's also been named National Keeper of the Week once this year. So a very impressive year for the freshman there as this ball is going to be sent and eventually will get out of bounds.
Yeah, Anna Wesley's a very, very solid goalkeeper, man. Actually, of course, I coach at Tupelo currently, and I did last year too, and got to watch her in high school, and I knew she was a very quality keeper, and always felt like her best soccer was ahead of her. So, no surprise that she's had the season that she has.
Well, substitution into the match right now. This is going to be Robertson coming in, wearing number 11 for Meridian. That substitution being brought to you by our friends at Sonic. Remember, they got those drink specials running even late at night.
Do they ever.
And I always ask this, and you're a food connoisseur.
Very much so.
Yeah. So if you were to go to Sonic right now on a day like today, what would be your drink of choice?
See, man, I don't know that I would go to Sonic today because it's kind of chilly.
Okay.
So, I'm not a big, happy hour at Sonic type guy when it's chilly. But
right,
my go-to drink regularly.
Yeah.
Just if I'm stopping by, I'm thirsty, I need a drink, grape Sprite Zero.
I can say I've never had that.
Solid.
Okay, I'll have to I'll have to check the zero side because me and aspartame don't get along that well.
With you, man.
Yeah. So, but yeah.
What's your go-to?
Mine is either a half cherry, half grape slush.
Oh, man. And you can't go wrong with a cherry limeade either.
No, I'm saying, and of course the fallback for sure is a cherry limeade. Shot on goal, and it's going to be saved yet again. ICC continues to pour on the shot opportunities here, but a great save once again. Carter, the goalkeeper, she's a freshman from Meridian. Like she was shaken up a little bit in practice, but good to see her come back in and playing pretty solid so far.
Yeah, she has, man. It's kind of like in baseball. You have a great pitcher on the mound who can keep you in the game, just like a good goalkeeper can, and she's made the save she's needed to so far.
Here comes Witt trying to get by the defender. Does so, splits him. Was going to get ready to fire that time, but a great stop that time by Meridian to take away the shot opportunity.
And the Lady Eagles, man, they're just like sardines in the box right now, man. And so here's a quick counter off a big ball down the line.
Well, they're going to try to get down
there's no
the
one there, so they should probably double down, keep a shot from happening.
And good job by Maisie just to force that one back out. And man, we talk about Maisie Sumner. She has just been 2 years solid on that back line. She's out of Blackburn, Lancashire. She's the other side of the pond.
Yeah.
Always great to talk to Maisie when she's on campus. Her family's outstanding watching right now here on Let's Go ICC TV. So she's one of those sophomores today that got recognized. And, Coach, you coach them on the high school level. And one thing you always want to do as a student athlete is leave a legacy. And this sophomore group, with this 14-3 record, the current run they're on right now, they've left quite the legacy and kind of raised the bar a little bit on this program.
No doubt, man. Anytime, especially, like I said, back-to-back playoff appearances, man. And, it's one of those deals where, you continue to do that, and then you start getting kids that you probably shouldn't.
As this sent ahead, and
it looks like Meridian on the board.
Meridian gets it on the board there. Was that an own goal?
No, it flew Anna Wesley and it just didn't get cleared out quick enough, and it looks like the Meridian player was just Johnny on the spot right there and just kind of put it in the back of the net. A lot of times you don't want to be pretty exactly when in that, you just want to get there before the other person does.
Yeah, so Meridian takes a 1-0 advantage here. The reason why I thought that might be an on goal, there was really no celebration by anybody from
Meridian.
And it may
have been. I thought she checked in.
Yeah, it was a player. We look at the Little Caesars instant replay here. You can see it. It is a play. It's hard to pick up her number. She's wearing a dark headband.
But she was in the right place.
She was in the right place.
point.
Yeah.
It's no doubt about that. So, that was kind of, I don't want to call it a fluke because, they earned the corner definitely on the hustle down the line. And Ross actually made a good play. It just deflected off of her. One thing ICC will have to do, especially on these set pieces, we've seen 2 straight now where they didn't exactly get first to the ball, and that couldn't be more important in your defensive third. So that may have been the punch that in the mouth that ICC needed. So you may see Coach Strother push some numbers up here, see if you can get the game level.
Absolutely, and that was been kind of the case for Lady Indians the last few matches. They kind of just a little slow out of the gate, and against Southwest the other night, they scored early, then Southwest answered, and then all of a sudden, here comes another shot, and this one's going to be too tall. Then all of a sudden, in the second half, ICC turns it on because Coach Strother's like, the effort's not where it needs to be. Let's get the effort up, and it worked. Sometimes you just got to do that, especially when you're on a long win streak like this. Not the ideal day, kind of an overcast day, kind of hard to get that energy up. So,
sure.
Maybe like you said, that's the shot in the arm the Lady Indians need here.
Well, and one thing that Coach Strother's done all year, and he just did here on the substitution, he's brought in fresh legs up top, and that's always important to have numbers up top that you can sub in and out and not lose the quality. So Mathis and Stevens coming in the game for Witt and Joyce. So I don't expect any drop off here, in other words. So I really think that they're here's an opportunity, well, almost an opportunity, but they're going to get it together here shortly. They're getting the ball in the right spots on the field.
Yep.
This is where they're having trouble here, is when they're getting the ball on the outside, because the only play you can make is 2 feet in the middle or outside the boundary or a drop. So if the way Meridian's packing it in, and I expect them to pack it in more the rest of the game too, because now they have an advantage and ICC's chasing a goal. So they're going to have to get really creative on the offensive third to score, and they may just have an opportunity right here.
Stevens sends this one out to Hayward, and again, good defense out of Meridian, and they're going to see if it's safe.
It should have been a deflection.
Yeah, they're going to give him the corner there. So good job, Coach. Got it quick. I mean, you hadn't lost a step, have you?
Well, I feel like I was standing down there, too.
Oh, that's true.
I'm too close to down there to not see that one.
Yes,
and I heard you could hear it, usually.
Yeah. So there'll be a corner opportunity coming up here for ICC. We've already seen Meridian take advantage of making a corner chance here dangerous, so ICC needs to return serve here and see if they can find this equalizer. There's 24-19 to go in the first half. 1-0, Meridian with the advantage.
It's a good ball played in.
Looking for the backside. Hayward was there, just couldn't quite get the solid foot on it. You hurt her foot.
Yeah, she's probably kicking herself for that one, because I think she realizes now that's one she probably should have headed in or kneed in, because the ball kind of came across her face and she let it get a little deep. But it's a great ball. They're getting opportunities, man. It's just I think it's just a matter of time.
Yeah, knocking on the door, just waiting for somebody to answer are the Lady Indians. 23:47 to go until halftime. We invite you to stay tuned for Little Caesars halftime report. We'll have the first half thoughts from Coach Holland, and then also take a look at a performance from the ICC All-American Band a little earlier on. If we have time, we might even hear from Blue Delta Jean Company as well.
Hey,
we'll see. Don't know.
We know a guy over there.
We do. As this ball is going to be sent ahead by Ross, and it's going to be sent out wide. Chanel's going to try to chase this one down the sideline.
That was almost a really, really good. It was a great individual effort by Chanel. It was a good ball. It was just a little too long.
Well, that's one thing you're going to get out of Chanel, the West Georgia commit. She, when she's on the field, you're going to get 110% every time. And those type of players, Coach, you see on your team as well. That mantra, that energy, that mindset is contagious amongst the rest of the team. When you see somebody give that effort, then it kind of inspires others to give that extra effort as well.
Absolutely, and especially at the college level, in girls soccer, man, one thing you can't have to worry about as a coach is coaching effort. Effort's got to be there, and Chanel just embodies it every time she steps on the field. So hopefully that leaks over here in the next couple minutes, and ICC can find the back of the net.
They throw this one in, and ICC trying to control it. The ball's bounced ahead, and there's Mathis, who had it but lost it for a moment. Now Meridian's going to get it and try to send it ahead. Oh, nice job that time by Loden to break that one up and keep the ball on the positive side of the field for the Indians. And Meridian just simply clears that one out. Now they're going to fall back.
So they've been in this situation several times so far this game where the ball comes to Ross's feet on the outside boundary. And they did a good job of switching really quick. Took 3 passes to do it. You usually want 1 or 2, but nonetheless got there and should have a cross here.
Chanel sends that one ahead.
And you get a corner out of it.
Was looking for Stevens that time. It was broken up nicely, but it'll be another corner opportunity coming up here for the Lady Indians. The last one extremely dangerous when Moore sent that one in. So you would probably like to see Moore come back in that situation and see if she can make another one dangerous here. So it's going to be.
I like the way that ICC sets up their corners. I'm sure they have different sets for sure, but it makes you defend the entire box, and that couldn't be more important when you have that, because there's so many people to attack the ball here. And that one's a little low. It looks like she was trying to go at the PK. That was kind of the target there. It just didn't quite get there.
So Meridian with it now, trying to get it back out wide, and ICC breaks it up once again, sending it back, but just a missed swing on that one. Now here comes Meridian trying to get out in transition in a hurry here. Meridian leads it 1-0. They scored off a corner kick. Now trying to swing this one over to the side. Sets it up to number 10.
Emma Boswick.
And then she had a good send forward, but ICC there defensively to take it away. And now ICC trying to flip the field in a hurry here, see if they can catch Meridian, maybe relaxing getting back. But no, it was a 5-on-2 opportunity on that other side. So Meridian, they're sold out defensively with this 1-0 lead, trying to keep ICC from being able to have any opportunities by packing it in.
Yeah, that back line hadn't moved, and you noticed it right there. ICC tried to play a big ball over the top, and it wasn't there because there were so many numbers for Meridian. See, right now, even still, it's a 4-on-6. So numbers have got to be able to get up for ICC to be able to have an opportunity to score here against this.
So Meridian takes it away one more time now, going to dribble it back towards midfield. And ICC deflects it away, but should end up in control by Meridian. Yes, it is. Now the ball bounced away, and Stevens steps in front of it. Stevens, though, just couldn't quite get a solid enough foot on it. Ross breaks that one up, and the ball just seems like it's magnetized towards Meridian right now as it finds a way to go to them each time. They send this one ahead. Maisie's going to get to it. She's going to swing this one forward and kick it out of bounds to allow the defense to reset. So the ball will go out of bounds. We'll have substitutions coming in the match here for Meridian. This is going to be
16 and 19. Jackie
LaHaye.
Like a Hawaiian looking. Oh,
Yeah.
LaHaye.
And Smith, Kaylee Smith, also checking in. These substitutions being brought to you by the ICC Baptist Student Union. Remind you, they meet Monday nights at 7:07. Also Wednesdays at lunch. All they ask is bring $2 and a friend. Why not treat your friend to lunch for $2 as well? Brother Chris and all the company there do a great job at the ICC BSU. Follow them on Twitter at ICC BSU.
Waiting for you to treat me to a $2 lunch.
You come one day for the BSU luncheon, and I've got you covered. Ball deflected away. Meridian trying to chase it down. Loden was there, just going to clear this one back out.
There's one thing from Meridian's standpoint, an interesting perspective here is, see, it looks like their game plan was completely to pack it in. So, like, it's almost uncomfortable for them right now that they've got this many numbers forward because they've only got 4 backs. So if ICC can get a quick run out, like right now, you can get some numbers.
Chanel wants to send this one
That's
ahead.
a good ball. Mathis has got quick feet.
Great,
simple play by Meridian there.
Yeah.
Good shield by Mathis to keep possession.
Took a good angle on that, and I think that's one part of soccer that, of course, I've learning this game over the past 9 years. The angles is killer important. As we have a substitution coming into the match here, Lucy Dexter for ICC. This substitution being brought to you by the Bank of Oklahoma. Visit bankofoklahoma.com. John Harrod and all the great folks out there at the Bank of Oklahoma, a proud sponsor of ICC Athletics here on the Red Channel this afternoon. But, Coach, let's talk about it. That's part of the game, the mindset of the game, or just the nuances of the game. The angles are so important whenever you pass the ball or maybe when you run on an attack to be able to get to a ball. Just talk about coaching angles in that mindset.
Well, as far as angles are concerned, man, like as far as offensive soccer, you notice Ross got the ball right there, and every time she's got it, she's had 2 options. And one thing that a lot of people don't understand is, a lot of people that are math people do understand, the shortest thing between 2 points is a straight line, right? So, if she's going to play what's considered to be a diagonal ball, which means if she's in a certain part of the field, she's going to play it to her left and right. You have to make a straight run to that ball. And then if she's going to play a straight ball, the run has to be diagonal. That's a good shot on goal, but it's just misses frame barely, man. I'm telling you, it's a matter of time. And if they can get this game level, I think it changes the way Meridian has to think as far as trying to stay in this game. So I fully expect them to do that here shortly.
That was Lexi Loden who had the shot that time, just a little bit too tall off frame for the Indians. 1-0 is the score, 17:33 to go. Sending this one over the top, trying to find Hayward. Oh, just an unfortunate. No, now it turns into a fortunate bounce, and
man,
nearly sent that one home. Nice strike by Emily Hayward, but an equally good save that time by Carter to be able to get up and bounce that one over the top.
She's earning her scholarship today for sure, man. That's a ball that's not easy to save for sure, and that ball had some torque on it, I guess you'd say. That was probably the most well-shot ball we've seen today.
Yeah, that's one that got on her in a hurry, and I think it's more reactionary than actually just setting up to make the save. self-preservation, I guess, because it was coming right at her head.
Well, and see, one thing, here's another corner, and it looks like ICC that may actually have an extra body up top. They're running a +1 system back here, which is 2 defenders for the Meridian to defend a counter.
Yeah, they're moving Maisie Sumner in. Someone's a little bit taller on the set. Hayward with the header. And
it's a good job of getting first the ball there. It's just hit the top of her head instead of her forehead.
Yeah, and that time Meridian recognized that they were moving Sumner in on the set and quickly put 2 people on her on the backside to try to take away that opportunity. Hey, Ronald, remind you, if you're watching, hit us up on Twitter at Let's Go ICC. You can win a free shout-out.
I don't know. I may charge.
Okay. And we do have the Sumner family is watching across the pond, and we do appreciate them.
That's amazing to me. 20 years ago, you'd never be able to do that.
No, and it's so awesome, because you get to meet like our international parents
when
they move in, or when they graduate. But we do, get a good following, good conversation with a lot of time with the Sumners, and even people that were former players, and they go on and their family continues to watch and support the program. And it really reflects that ICC family value that we kind of try to instill here at Itawamba Community College.
Absolutely, man. And you see that across sports too. I've been to several games and watched several games where players from other teams, different students from around campus are coming to watch, man. And that's this time of year it's usually kind of chilly, but early in soccer season it's 100 degrees.
Yeah.
So it says a lot about the college and the campus and the community atmosphere that's been created, that they support each other.
And it's really interesting to think how these soccer players in high school here in the States, don't know what time it is over on the other side, but in the States you play in the most miserable weather to possibly play in.
High school's in the dead of winter.
Yeah.
And then college is in the summer.
In the middle of
late
the summer.
summer.
Yes. We've got my good friend Fran.
Fran?
Yes. Gallegos.
Poyetolo.
Yes.
You rolled your R's. I'm impressed.
I tried. Well, she stayed on me forever to try to figure out and say her name right, and I know I did not. But Fran checking in. She's down in Chile watching now. And
Chile.
Yes, and she's promised me if I ever get down to Chile, she's got me covered with like a place to stay and stuff. So
nice.
I'm getting my passport this summer, and I'm coming to see Fran because
most people with your accomplishment, like Super Bowl winners, they go to Disney World.
Yeah.
You go to Chile.
That's right. We've got 14:22 to go here until halftime. ICC trailing at 1-0 here. You got McKinley Holland joining us here in the ICC Alumni Affairs and Foundation broadcast booth. Remember, if you would like to contribute to Itawamba Community College, either through the Indian Club or joining the Alumni Association, you can visit iccms.edu/foundation. That's iccms.edu/foundation. Michael Upton, Jim Ingram, Tilda Bushline would be proud to help you out there. Inside 14 minutes to go now in the ball. Just a missed touch that time, out of bounds, back to Meridian.
It's very, very important that ICC try to get on the board here right before half.
Now here comes Meridian on the attack. They're using some of their speed with spears right now. But I'm going to tell you what, you're going to be hard-pressed to find anybody that's going to be able to outrun Alexis Hall.
Yeah, that was a really, really good individual effort right there because, if she gets beat, it's her and the goalkeeper, So that was a great job of staying in goal side is what you would call it in our world.
So Dexter with the ball now, just weaving her way through traffic. Sends this one up ahead to load
now.
Got a
good opportunity here.
Squeezing ahead, looking out wide to Mathis. Opportunity here. Mathis steps in front of it, keeps it in with her now.
A good layoff option right there back to Dexter.
And now gets it back to Mathis. And again, Meridian's just lights out on that back line, making things difficult for ICC all match long so far.
It's a great cross right there. You got to find a number in.
And this is Stevens. Stevens, just trying to get it, and that one's going to be sent out wide. And it looks like we may have a injured player from Meridian on the field right now, and that's going to be the case. Let's take a timeout. Let's hear from the Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi. Back with more right after this. ICC trails at 1-0 with 12:47 to go until halftime.
Everyone has a unique story to tell. Maybe your story has you performing your new song in front of a crowd, getting to play your favorite sport, or enjoying a horseback ride in the country. At Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi, our group of skilled surgeons understand your need to continue your story. That is why we are the preferred choice for orthopedic care. Thank you for choosing us. Our story is you. Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi.
Ever since you got that license, you haven't stopped moving forward. Now that you're older and on the move, you need a safer place to keep your money. We get it. A student checking account frees you up with things like mobile check deposit to take care of that check from grandma without having to stop at a bank. Pay with your phone when you're out with friends. And stop worrying about ATM fees. We'll pay you back for those. Worry about your future, not your money. And know that we'll stick with you, wherever you go. Renaissance Bank, understanding you. Member FDIC.
This broadcast of ICC Athletics is being brought to you by Renaissance Bank, Little Caesars, Davis Ford, the Sonic of Fulton, Tupelo Coca-Cola Bottling Works, the Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi, First American National Bank, the ICC BSU, your Itawamba County Farm Bureau agent, Joey Cox, Cagle Eye Center, the ICC Foundation, the Bank of Okolona, and the ICC Alumni Association.
And welcome back out of the injury timeout. The young lady from Meridian having to be helped off the field right here. Hopefully she'll be okay, as 1-0 is the score here. 12:47 to go until halftime. And Coach, before we went to the break, ICC had a great scoring opportunity there. Kind of break that down for us.
Well, it was a good ball in. It just looked like that Stevens was just one touch too many inside the the 6 box, and then that's right there. It's got to be, as soon as you get it, shoot it, because what's right in front of you is the goal, because the box is so small. But she was trying to get a better shot, which I can't blame her for that. But I think if she gets the opportunity again, she'll put it away.
So 1-0 is the situation. Coach Strother kind of bringing his girls in here, using this as a coaching opportunity during the break. Meridian in the black kits, ICC in the white and blue kits here with 12:47 to go until halftime. McKinley Holland joining us in the ICC Alumni Affairs and Foundation broadcast booth. Coach, appreciate you coming out. And, I was messing with you about, you've been saying you're coming all year. You finally come this year. I'm glad you am, because had that broadcast with football last night, got home about 3 this morning.
Be easy to phone it in for you today if you wanted to.
Yeah, I might do that with my job a little bit later on tonight. I kid. But if you are in the area and you want to listen to McKinley, Brian, and myself with the Miss 98 WCBI scoreboard show, you can tune into that on 97.5 FM starting at 9:30. If you're not in the area, and you can still listen on Miss98.net or the Miss 98 app, the best country station in North Mississippi.
It really is, man. And check out after the show, too, because we've been making some requests lately, so I hope you like the tunes we've been picking. A lot of mid-90s country.
So now Meridian back on the attack. They lead at 1-0 here. ICC needing to find a way to strike here early. Good job taking it away. Now this is going to be Dexter.
She needs to keep this for a while and make somebody make a move defensively.
Dexter's going to send it over the top. This is to Stevens. Stevens with an opportunity here is going to dribble in, and she touched it last.
See, I thought Dexter should have kept that ball a little longer, make the outside back from Meridian step to her and make her make a decision. But she saw she had numbers, and then Stevens almost got it. So, good call on her part. What do I know?
Well, one thing for sure is Meridian's getting it done defensively. ICC's had some opportunity, has made some of them dangerous, but even in opportunities like that, Meridian's been able to have the wherewithal to take the angle away or the angle of attack or attack the ball quickly.
Right.
And just make things difficult for Lady Indians so far in the first half.
They, I expected, I didn't hear him, but I kind of expected Coach Strother there during that little short meeting with the team to tell them to pick the energy up, because it looks like Meridian's kind of first to ball right now so far. They've been more of a brawn and toughness so far, and ICC's been a little bit more finesse. But I think that message will be communicated pretty clearly before the second half.
So now Meridian with it, trying to squeeze this one ahead. Nobody there. ICC's back line cleans that one up, sends it back to Driscoll to reset. 1-0 is your score, and even 11 minutes to go here until halftime. We invite you to stay tuned for the Little Caesars halftime report. We'll also have a performance from the ICC All-American Band from earlier this season with the American version of football.
Football, 2 O's.
Yes. This one's sent across the middle, and it's going to – I thought it was going to roll out of bounds.
She's got to make a play on that.
As Ross is going to send this one ahead. That's the funny thing about soccer. You see a ball, you're like, okay, it's going to go out of bounds, and the next thing you know, it's going to roll.
There's 2 players there.
Yeah, there's 2 players there. So substitutions into the match here for ICC. This is going to be Morgan Gaylor checking in, along with re-entering the contest now is going to be Grace Joyce. These substitutions are being brought to you by our friends at the Tupelo Coca-Cola Bottling Works, Buddy Long and Company, ICC and Coke. Now that's a winning combination. And ICC hoping to find a way to put together a winning combination to tie this thing up 1-1 here with 10 minutes to go.
Interesting substitution pattern there. I noticed that when those two that came in the game, Dexter came to left outside back to replace Ross. So it's good to have that kind of diversity amongst your players to play different positions. It gives you a different look dynamically. It gives you a better chance to win, really, because you're always coaching all the positions the same, and you really want players to be able to be multiverse, yeah, I guess, in different positions.
Almost like a utility player.
Yeah, he's a Swiss Army knife.
Yeah. So now here comes Meridian, going to send this one out wide and want to try to make it dangerous with Spears on the right side. Dribbles in, gets by Gaylor, but there's Hall to clean things up. Good help that time by Hall to come in. It will be a corner opportunity here for Meridian. And you kind of see a little bit of frustration now sitting across on the Indians.
That was a missed call a little bit. Yeah. I thought, it's kind of one of those. When I was coaching, I always used the physics thing.
Yeah.
Look where she's standing. Look where she's standing. The ball went a certain way. So I thought the ball went straight back. So I thought for sure that it would have been off Spears there, but he saw otherwise. So
I'm glad you say that because I'm a guy. That's the way I look at it too. The ball can only move a certain way because it gets touched a certain way and.
Well, and you especially see it a lot on the sidelines when two players are going after the ball and they want to try to kick it forward, first. And what happens is when, wow.
And Meridian gets another goal as that one bounced around and found its way in. Everything going the way of the Eagles early. That one just a great touch as Driscoll came up and tried to get to it and just took a little extra hop over. And then the goal was finished that time. I believe it was number 24, Spears, who has been in the attack and has been dangerous this afternoon throughout the contest. And now she's got her first goal of the day, and it's 2-0 Meridian, 8:45 to go until halftime. Now if you're ICC, you don't hit the panic button quite yet.
No.
But you do make it a point of emphasis to be a little bit more aggressive. And, if you're Coach Strother, you're going to look at the sideline and say, okay, what's it going to take for you guys to wake up and match the intensity that Meridian's playing with right now?
Absolutely, and they are. And they're definitely playing with a little more intensity right now. But I do need to say this, that 2-0 is it is the most uncomfortable score in soccer if you're the two, because typically, and this is really the only sport like this, once the other team gets the one, assuming they do, it really puts pressure on you because you've had the lead for a while now and you're really trying to protect it. So when the second goal comes, a lot of the times you'll see a tidal wave in terms of goals starting to pour in because the other team's just simply too tired.
Right. So now ICC with it. They send it ahead to McGregor. McGregor tries to swing it out wide to Stevens. Stevens was knifing her way in, just a little bit too tough on the touch that time. And Stevens couldn't catch up with it. And that's kind of been the way it's been for ICC in this first half, not sliding Meridian, because we are saying Meridian is more aggressive. They are quicker to the ball right now, but the breaks have been beating the girls in those type situations throughout the first half.
Is that a Notre Dame reference?
It is.
It was very nice. But no, you're right, man. It's you definitely ICC. It looks like right there. It looks like McGregor just tried to press a little bit. She put a little too much mustard on the ball. I guess you'd say so. It becomes a touch game in that area, just kind of like a pop pass from a quarterback. You really want to just kind of place it there and let your player run on to it. And there was another prime example right there on the outside boundary, man. You got to get him into space. And again, I don't expect Meridian to change now. I think that they'll continue to pack that back line in and really, really tighten up around the box and make ICC beat them on the outside.
7:15 to go here in the first half. 2-0 Meridian with the lead. And ICC trying to find an answer here as McGregor takes it away. And the ball deflected away. Stevens is going to be able to let this one settle. Now sends it across the middle. Deflected off, and now Mathis is there. Mathis tried to quick fire. There's the goal there by Grace Joyce.
And, there's what we talked about, Adam, being a matter of time. That was that all started with McGregor still in that ball right here. A lot of people forget that, how a goal gets set up on the offensive third. But, like we said down here on the first Meridian goal, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, or an ugly goal counts the same as a pretty goal, in other words. But McGregor with a great play there, and then a pass to Stevens. Stevens played a great ball in. ICC wanted it, and then had a really good pass at the top of the box to finish there.
Yeah, and Grace Joyce, pretty strong leg, and you get her that much of an opening that close to the net, it's going to be difficult for her to or anybody to stop her from scoring that time.
Absolutely, and that was that ball was buried in the corner. The keeper wouldn't have had a chance at that even if she would have dove. So that was a really, really good job by ICC, and that may be what they needed right there. Sometimes it takes a goal from you to wake you up instead of getting scored on. So interesting to see how this last 6 minutes and 58 seconds plays out.
So 2-1 now is the score. Don't know if it was a yellow card handed out, but Meridian So I had a player sent to the sideline, and the referee
too mouthy, as they say.
Yes, and she was not happy when she came to the sideline. The coach didn't even look at her or say anything to her. She went to the sideline. It might be one of those you're like, okay, she knows what she's did. Let her fume herself that time and kind of let her.
She's probably calling for offsides, if I had to guess, but
Yeah.
I didn't think there was any even close to offsides. It's just, she looked back and didn't see anybody behind her, so she just assumed that it was offside. Great pressure by Stevens right there to start off the kickoff. That's it, man. If you can win possession that quickly, you see the numbers are already up, so you don't have to worry about waiting on people and holding the ball up in the attack.
Dexter now dribbling over the middle of the pitch. Now he's going to send it ahead to Chanel. Chanel gets it right back to Dexter. Meridian has settled in nicely. Cross over the middle of the backside to Stevens. Stevens going to dribble in. Oh, it was taken away. Great defense on the part of Meridian. That right there was going to be a great opportunity to find the equalizer for Stevens, but Meridian again there for the save.
And, we just kind of talked about that, unfortunately, with the same player, Stevens. I coached against her in high school, and she's probably scored on teams I've coached 10 times in her career. But right then, again, just one touch too many. As soon as she got that almost right outside the 6, she probably should have had a go of it left-footed and see what could have happened. Maybe could have got a deflection.
Moore sends in this corner opportunity. A little too tall, and now it's going to be hit, and Meridian's just going to clear this one out.
A high kick in the box.
And a high kick there for sure. Is just trying to make something happen. And now you're starting to see a different life out of this Indian team. Once they got that goal, and they're getting a little bit more aggressive. And now Meridian, as you said, once you get that 2-0 advantage and the team answers back, you almost look like they got popped in the mouth, and they're on their heels now.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I just got through saying to you, 2-0, such an uncomfortable score because you're so susceptible right after a 2-0 game. Usually 3-0 or 2-1 comes right after that, depending on who's got the momentum. And ICC most certainly has the momentum right now.
Chanel with it, going to dribble towards the middle of the pitch. Now sends it ahead to Stevens. Stevens gets it deflected off her foot. Joyce is going to poke this one forward and wasn't on frame that time, but a good job being aggressive. And that's one of those things, whenever you do kind of get momentum going your way, you don't mind seeing those forced shots because sometimes
you'll live with it for sure.
They tend to find their way in.
And a really heady play by Carter there, the goalkeeper. That ball was actually going out of bounds, but I think she knows herself better than the rest of us do. So she saw that punting the ball would actually give her a better opportunity to get the ball upfield than a goal kick would have. Wouldn't give ICC time to get set defensively.
So the Sumner family, they're loving this quick score by ICC, now wanting to find a way to get things back even here. 2-1 is the score. 4:45 to play in the first half. Substitution into the match now for ICC. Re-entering the contest is going to be Emily Hayward. Stevens will check out. Good action on the pitch by Stevens to come in and
really good minutes by Stevens there. And we talked about that, having the interchangeable forwards. There wasn't just a ton of drop-off there.
This is Acosta with it on the far side of the pitch, trying to set up and find somebody to go with it. Tries to send it ahead to Chanel. The ball was broken up that time by Meridian, and they do control it on the far side of the pitch. Now there's Acosta to get it back. Now sends it out to Mathis. Mathis tries to send it ahead, and the ball just bounced around, stayed in bounds, and Mathis sticks with it. Meridian just comes up and clears it out.
Yeah, one thing I noticed about that play right there, the outside back did a good job for Meridian getting on Mathis quick, not letting her turn, because had she let her turn, she was the last line, and it may have been a breakaway one-on-one on goal or an opportunity to slot the ball right back at the top of the box for a shot.
So ICC looking for the equalizer. It was a Grace Joyce goal that makes it 2-1.
See, right there is a prime example. Mathis did get turned. She just lost the ball. She gets loose there, then she probably runs past the defense for sure.
3:38 to play here until halftime. McKinley Holland, Adam Gore, Lee Adams, and Raphael Henry bring you this action here today on Let's Go ICCTV.com, the red channel. Mathis breaks that one up, ends up at the feet of Joyce, and then Joyce is...
it's unfortunate.
Yeah.
She had her hands up. Regardless, you got to make that call. That was the right call, but she wanted to get to the ball first. She just couldn't get around her.
It's one of those, as a coach, you don't mind seeing that aggressiveness.
No, absolutely, man. That's you definitely want to see that, especially being down 2-0 early, because now you got a little fight about you.
This ball sent down the pitch, and it's going to be controlled by ICC. Mathis with it. Now she wants to lead the charge, sends it over the middle, looking for Hayward, trying to go that backside, and good job that time by the back line. Couldn't get to the ball, but what they did was they forced Hayward to adjust her angle of attack, and she couldn't find her way to get on top of the ball that time.
And it was a great run by Hayward there, and it was a good ball in. It was just a little too long, but that was a great setup trying to play in between the center backs. If it would have been there, she probably would have had a shot on goal for it.
So this ball sent down the pitch, 50-50 opportunity here. ICC lets it settle with McGregor now. She's going to swing it out wide to Mathis. Mathis leaves it back to Acosta. Acosta's trying to dribble it up, but a nice play on the ball that time by Roberts of Meridian. Sends it ahead, and Hall's going to let it settle.
Incredibly impressed by the play of Hall so far, man. She's kind of like a free safety in football back there, man. She's not going to let much by her. You know, and the only two times Meridian scored so far, really the only two scoring opportunities they had were on that corner and that free kick, and they capitalized on both. But as far as breakaways go, she's been a monster back there defensively.
And again, it goes back to that back line. Of course, Gaylor's back there right now, and Hall's back there. Maisie Sumner, she's catching her breath right now, as Maisie doesn't check out of a match too often as this one's sent ahead. But one of those that later on in the season, of course, you want to win today, but next week is the playoffs, and you want to have your key players as about as 100% as possible.
You want to rest for your best.
Yes.
In other words. But no, it's the back line. You know, Maisie's obviously a great player. You know, and definitely being a 2-year player, you just got a little bit of advantage over other defenders that are not. But you know, Morgan's a great player in her own right. So you know, I don't expect a ton of drop off here either.
The referees have no idea where the ball was going that time. It was actually last touched by Meridian. I think one wanted to call the foul, the other one wanted to call it out of bounds. They looked at each other and had a solid 2 count, and then they pointed towards Meridian. So a break there for the Eagles. Or actually, it looks like they do eventually now call the foul instead of it going out of bounds. Nice seeing. That's one bit like.
See, Meridian on set pieces has been so good so far, man.
Now the ball being
great job of locking in defensively there in the center of the box. You know, you saw one thing that you didn't see on the 2 goals that Meridian scored was secondary players from ICC to double down on the ball and defensive pressure. But right there you saw 3. So the message from Coach Strother obviously got across that when he gets down there, it's in a danger zone. So really good to see ICC clear that out quickly.
So it'll be a goal kick here for ICC inside 30 seconds to play. Meridian looks like they will probably take this 2-1 advantage into the break, but it's easy to say that ICC gained a little bit of momentum heading into the break as the ball's being passed around, and Meridian's going to let it settle. 18 seconds now.
Don't need to be too careful with it right here. One big cross over the top, and you can get an opportunity on goal. Hayward's got it in space right now. This could be an opportunity.
10 seconds. Going to send it ahead, and
so
Joyce.
You maybe got one cross out of this here.
Meridian breaks it up nicely, and that's probably going to do it.
Yeah.
3 seconds now.
I'd have a shot here.
Put it a foot on it. Fires, and just going to be a little bit too tall. I like the decision and the wherewithal of Hayward to know that time was running out, just put a quick foot on it to see if she can make it dangerous, and that one just sails high. 2-1 is your score here as we move into the Little Caesars halftime report. Coach Holland, or McKinley Holland, who's joining us today, appreciate you joining us. Give me your thoughts on the first half.
Well, you know, the first, possession-wise, ICC dominated the entire half. I thought that was a big key as to why Meridian didn't have the scoring opportunities, but you know, Meridian took advantage of what they did have, and that's why the score is what it is. But it was good to see ICC get some rhythm and get some intensity back in that last 10 minutes. And you saw a goal come from it. And right now may not be the time for halftime because they had so much momentum right there at the end. You don't really necessarily want to break, so they'll have to really hone in and come out hot here in the second half to try to score early.
And let's go ahead and put the coach's shoes on you right now. And of course, we're taking a look at some of those Little Caesars halftime replays. Is that goal by Grace Joyce? All right, what's it going to take? What does ICC need to focus on or get refocused on when they re-enter the second half?
Well, I'm interested to see really much more what Meridian's going to do defensively because, they've kind of been skating on thin ice, I guess you'd say, for the first 45 minutes. And that's one thing that the opportunities I think that Meridian's coach knows that they'll continue to come. It'll be interesting to see how he changes up his lineup if he does at all. I think he's got to make some adjustments because ICC is going to continue to attack. I don't know that ICC will change much offensively they're definitely not going to change anything defensively other than what they've already corrected, which is intensity in the box on set pieces. And in defending counters, they've got a great advantage in Hall there to be able to chase on the outside. But I think that, for the most part, if you're ICC, you've just got to be able to – it's more of it's not as much of a thinking thing now as it is just an execution, just too much touch on the ball, playing balls too long, shots being too high. You just got to focus in a little bit harder, and I think the goals will start to come.
2-1 is your score here at halftime. Let's take a break and hear a few words from our sponsors and come back with that ICC All-American Band performance. Back with more right after this on the ICC Sports Network.
With the Little Caesars mobile app, you can customize an extra most bestest pizza with the most cheese, and now with the most of any toppings for the nation's best price. It's the crowning pizza achievement. And it's true what they say. It's lonely at the top. Unless you have an extra most bestest pizza. Then it's a party at the top!
Little Caesars Extra Most Bestest Pizzas, the world's easiest way to outrageous amounts of toppings, starting at $6.
Pizza.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Itawamba Community College is proud to present to you the 2019 ICC All-American Marching Band. This year's program, The Evolution of Gaming, features some of the most popular video games of our time. This evening we open with the 1980 Atari game Space Invaders. And now, the ICC All-American Marching Band. The 91 Sega game Sonic the Hedgehog, featuring trumpet soloist Tucker Johnston from South Pillow. Featuring our percussion section. and Diavion Calmes Walker from Starkville. Color guard captains are Alfonso Fernandez, South Pontotoc, and Alexis Wharton from Barr County, Alabama. Percussion captains are Cody Hunter from Lafayette and Alexis Bradley from Tupelo. Front ensemble captains are Chloe Hatfield from Alcorn Central and Jacob Curry from Saltillo. Indian choreographer is Roxy Thomas Clayton.
With the Little Caesars mobile app, you can customize an extra most bestest pizza with the most cheese, and now with the most of any toppings for the nation's best price. It's the crowning pizza achievement. And it's true what they say, it's lonely at the top. Unless you have an extra most bestest pizza, then it's a party at the top!
Little Caesars Extra Most Bestest Pizzas, the world's easiest way to outrageous amounts of toppings, starting at $6.
Pizza.
This broadcast of ICC Athletics is being brought to you by Renaissance Bank, Little Caesars, Davis Ford, the Sonic of Fulton, Tupelo Coca-Cola Bottling Works, the Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi, First American National Bank, the ICC BSU, your Itawamba County Farm Bureau agent, Joey Cox, Cagle Eye Center, the ICC Foundation, the Bank of Okolona, and the ICC Alumni Association.
Davis Ford in Fulton is your Ford dealer for new cars, trucks, and SUVs and has a wide inventory of certified pre-owned vehicles. Find your next dream car or truck from our Ford showroom or go online to davisfordsales.com and search our new and used inventory to see what is on our lot. So stop by and test drive the all-new fuel-efficient Ford Focus or Ford Fusion or the new Ford Explorer or F-150. Go further with Davis Ford, 904 West Main Street in Fulton or online davisfordsales.com.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we get set to start the second half of play. Adam Gore, McKinley Holland sitting in here in the broadcast booth today. ICC trailing at 2-1, but did grab a little bit of momentum heading into the second half as we're waiting Meridian to take the pitch here. ICC in the white and blue kits. They'll be moving left to right on the attack this time through. Meridian, of course, they're in the black kits with white and green as well. They'll be moving right to left on the attack. And Coach, just talk about this first 5 minutes is really important for one of these two teams to set the tone early.
Very, very important. And, you know, one thing Coach Stroger just briefly mentioned at halftime is something we talked about before the game started, man, was, you know, the emotions of sophomore day. You know, I think ICC has definitely gotten to where now they're kind of over it. And then great thing he said is we still got work to do. You know, you've got to get over that. You had your celebration. Everything's great. Emotions are out. Let's play soccer now. So, really, really important, I think, more so for Meridian to come out these first 5 minutes than ICC, because ICC kind of knows what's at stake. They're behind the goal. Going to be interesting to see how it looks like the back line is going to stay intact for Meridian, so they're going to try to hold this lead.
His First American National Bank kick to start the second half. It belongs to ICC after they lost the coin toss. Now, one of the typical home field's advantages at ICC is during the day, the sun, when it sets, is setting behind the scoreboard. So opposing kickers typically have to look behind into the sun. That's not going to be the case today as it's been overcast and starting to get a little bit chilly up here.
It's like a Big Ten 11 o'clock kickoff in football right now. Yes. That's the type of weather, just no mist.
You know, we almost went to, when we went to Notre Dame last weekend, Purdue was playing Maryland at 11, and we stayed in Carmel. And we almost went to that game before going up to Notre Dame. And
I don't think you'd had trouble getting tickets.
No, the reason why we went, and I was going to send a picture of this to Robbie Donahoe, tickets were $7, and that was with the surcharge on Vivid.
Wow.
Yeah, so they were basically like, just get a ticket and pay the surcharge.
Oh, wow.
So either way it goes, back to action here. This is going to be Dexter with it, sends it across the middle. Just a little miscommunication on the part of the Indians that time is an easy takeaway by Meridian.
Both teams didn't really come out as strong as either, with as much energy as I thought they would. So that a lot of the times I think that's coaching, and not on a negative part. I think it's just they're trying to execute a plan to a T. Now Witt gets the ball here into space. This could be interesting to see. It's a good cross.
For Stevens, and now there's Witt who sends it back across the middle.
Great individual effort there by Sarah to do that. I kind of wanted to yell at her right there. I've done that before.
And the keeper has gone down on the play there. Nobody was really around her. As we
she hit her knee on the post, maybe?
Maybe so. We talked about it. She was shaken up during warm-ups and a little slow getting up that time is kind of an awkward. It wasn't really a fall. It's almost like she just got in front of the ball and took a knee.
Locked up or something.
So hopefully
she seems to be okay. She looks like she's about to punt.
Yeah, now hopefully she'll be able to battle through this. She puts a pretty good foot on the ball there. The ball goes towards midfield, and a nice job popping that one up, and ICC had plenty of players back to clean it up. ICC trails it 2-1 here as we're early on in the second half of play. Final regular season match of the season here for the Lady Indians. Of course, they'll have to wait and see how today's matches between Hines and Holmes goes, and if it goes the way everyone thinks.
Here we go.
Yeah, here goes an opportunity here. Chanel with it.
Great individual play defensively by Meridian there.
But yeah, if everything goes the way it's anticipated, ICC will be the number 2 team in the playoffs. Now here comes Joyce. Sends it across, and
not quite as dominant with her left, and she was leaning a little right there. We talked about leaning over the ball a little earlier, and she was a little leaned too far to the left, and that's why you saw it sell left of the post. But opportunities are starting to come.
Yep, and that's what we saw in the first half, and ICC eventually stuck one home for that breakthrough goal. Now trying to find the equalizer here. But one thing you got to think about if you're a Meridian fan, your keeper with a noticeable limp when she went back to the goal that time. Now if you're ICC, if you can just make her move left to right.
Yeah, maybe advantageous to take some deeper shots right here to see if you can put some in the corners on frame.
So foul there, whistle on ICC. The ball go back to Meridian here. And that was an interesting point. You might have just heard Coach Strong.
Yeah,
like body language, just keep it switched on. And as we talked about, we saw that, some of the players we talked about come in and just provide a little bit of energy for a sense. That body language tends to be contagious from one player to the next. Good hustle on the part of Meridian to force that one back. Now ICC wants to send it up.
That's a great ball in to Stevens there.
Stevens has wit across the middle.
Just shot it a little too far.
And then Chanel just tries to come in and put a quick foot on it. Like the idea, even though it may not look well executed that time, Coach.
It was a good secondary run. Obviously, Witt had near post, and then Chanel came to follow it up for anything. That's you can tell that they've worked on that a considerable amount, because you always want a secondary player to follow up just in case there is a slacked pass, and that's exactly what happened. Chanel just couldn't get a good foot on it.
It's 50-50 ball sent up the pitch, and Loden steps in front of that one. Just an unfortunate bounce away from Loden, but the ball eventually finds its way back to ICC. We'll try to send this one out. Stevens is going to watch this one head out of bounds and to go back to Meridian. Good crowd out today. Sophomore day for the women. The men's sophomore day will be Tuesday. Well, that's pending, because, again, if Hines upsets Holmes and ICC takes over the number 1 spot in the North Division, not only that, then the Indians host the state tournament next weekend here in Fulton.
And, you've got to think that Holmes, is definitely, going to win that game. But,
Holmes has to upset Hines.
Hines is going to win that game. But, you're seeing here, what we feel like is a superior team is losing right now. So anything could happen.
That's the MACJC.
Absolutely.
Anything.
Day in, day out.
So it'll be a throw in here for the Indians. Still trailing 2-1, 40 minutes left in the contest. And the ball just at the feet, and just unfortunate that it goes out of bounds. And, Coach, give me the thoughts, and just the science, if you will, of a throw-in.
Well, people do it different ways, man. As far as this, from a technical standpoint, you teach it all the same way.
Right.
Obviously, it's keeping your feet planted, dragging that back foot, and throwing it over your head. But as far as coming off of, a lot of the times you see one in, one out. A player will check to the ball, and another one will lap over behind her to see if you can get defenders crossed up. A lot of them like to throw straight to feet and play it back to the thrower throwing in. It's just really a matter of your personnel, I think. So, but they're important. Obviously, man, it allows you. The only thing that happens out of a throw-in typically is whether you keep possession of the ball or not.
So the ball taken away by Meridian, but there's Chanel to clear it back to the middle of the pitch. Moore with it now, swings it back over. This is Ashley Stevens with it now. Stevens lifts this one forward out to Chanel on the right wing. Chanel tried to cross it, was slightly deflected that time by Meridian, and they quickly clear this one out. Now we're going to try to get it up the pitch in a hurry here. It's broken up that time nicely by ICC. It's going to be sent out of bounds, and they're going to say it will belong to Meridian. Wind picking up, trying to blow away our sheets up here.
Can't really see. I'm trying to look at the flag to see which way it's blowing, but it doesn't really look like it's giving any indication. Just a light. I guess it would be a west to east breeze.
And that's a typical breeze here until it officially turns cold. When it turns cold, it typically comes in from the football field into your face here. As this one sent ahead, and Meridian once again collapsing back takes away that opportunity.
See, this would be an opportunity for ICC to get numbers up. Like when that right there happens, I see Grace with a big run forward, then your midfielders have got to come up and occupy that space. And that's why Meridian has the ball right now, because kind of got it caught just standing a little bit. And that happens in this game, but, you know, I feel like ICC is going to gain possession of the ball back pretty quickly, assuming they don't give a ball up to the outside here.
Meridian with it, trying to let it settle. Loden comes up, gets physical, forces them back to midfield. Good job, and that's a position that really doesn't. Yeah, that midfielder position really doesn't get a lot of credit. You know, they do get some scoring opportunities, but they're kind of that enforcer out there on the pitch.
Well, you know, it's the one position on the field where you really got to really play both ways and be able to change up your mindset depending on where the ball is. You know, if you got it offensively, you got to be looking for feet if you've got it, and you've got to be moving off it for a pass. And then defensively, if your team loses it quickly, you got to get back and defend immediately.
And there's going to be a foul there on ICC. Both players.
I thought that was probably the right call there. Yep. Meridian just had possession there.
So kind of got tripped up that time. And for the most part this season, I mean, the officiating's been pretty solid. You know, that's something that we say in the MACJC, and I'm pretty sure you would agree with this on the high school level as well. Even if they're inconsistent, you just want consistency. Even if they're consistently inconsistent, like my friend Steve Diffie likes to say.
Well, I've been told by several coaches there's no such thing as a good official. Good scoring chance right here. Chanel can get it off. She didn't quite. Oh, man, she took a spill there.
Yeah, Chanel was hit hard after she sent that ball forward, slow to get up. Now Stevens with it, dribbling in, wants to send it across, looking for the back post, nothing there. Now the ball's going to be cleared out. Chanel, who was just shaken up, and
that's unfortunate.
Just unfortunate there for Allie as she slid that time and the ball popped up on her. Handball was the call. I tell you, I've seen it numerous times this year. Chanel has just taken a beating throughout her sophomore season. None of it's been malicious. That last hit was not purposeful.
No, she actually made a great play, just stretching out just to stop that ball from the defense. And when she did, she stretched out so far enough that her hand went up to where her foot was, and it just popped right off of it.
Yeah, she's, as they like to say in the South,
another chance here.
Tough as a pine knot as she was able to pop up there and get it back. Chanel with it now, wants to go out wide. This is going to be Dexter. Dexter lets it settle, fires from distance.
That's a great shot, man. Wow, what a shot by Dexter.
Big time goal there from Lucy Dexter. Let's take a look at that on Little Caesars instant replay as Dexter did a great job. Nice touch, let it settle. Fired, went top shelf, and got it in. We're tied at 2.
You know, and we talked about it, you know, kind of on the first goal down there. That all really started with Chanel's play defensively to be able to steal the ball. She lost it on the ball back in, and then when Meridian cleared it, it came right back to her feet. She made the right choice by playing outside and started trying to force it in the box.
Take a look at that one more time here on the Little Caesars instant replay. And, Coach, that's what we said with the Meridian keeper kind of being banged up a little bit earlier in the contest. Take some of those deep shots.
She was a little off her line right there, but, I mean, nonetheless, a great shot by Dexter to finish that there from that distance.
So the ICC finds the equalizer, ties it at 2 now. 35-48 to play here in the contest. And this is a part of the game quickly here, Coach, that 9 times out of 10 you see teams quickly put the ball back in play and make something dangerous off a score by the opposite team, and Meridian did that just there.
Yeah, that was a really good hard push by Meridian there. They wanted to get it back immediately. Now it allows ICC to get back in the flow a little bit, get a good goal kick here and try to regain possession. 35 minutes to play. You know, you got the game all night now. It's been also ICC since that early 2-0 lead from Meridian. A lot of the times in this situation, a goal can be really deflating for either side, so it wouldn't surprise me at all if the next team that scored multiple.
Lucy Dexter getting her second goal of the season, and it's a big one there to tie us at 2. Now here comes the
another
Indians.
Great ball.
Over the top, Stevens is going to have a 1v1 opportunity here. Does have Mathis trailing on the backside. Mathis fires, and it's there!
Let's see, and here's what you're looking at, Adam, is now ICC's exploited a weakness defensively from Meridian, and Meridian is, now that the game's level, we talked about this, how they were going to play if the game did get level. Now they got to play from behind. So, either if you're Meridian right now, you're probably not going to be a playoff team, I don't think.
No.
So do you keep it? You try to keep it respectable by keeping that back line intact, or do you go for the win or go for the tie at least at this point and try to really, really press on?
7th goal of the season for Brittany Mathis, and bang, bang, just like that. This never say die attitude of the Lady Indians shining through here in the second half. They take a 3-2 advantage, 34-52 to go here in the second half. It's just been the MO of this team, Coach, and you being a coach of both soccer, baseball, a lot of times, you can have talent, you can have good teams, but if you have that team that just has that refuse to lose.
It's got a little it factor about it, man.
And that's just been I think at the end of the year, ouch.
No, that looked pretty malicious to me. Yeah, he issued a card there. I totally expected that.
Yeah, and Chanel is down, and of course a lot of attention has been paid to the head injuries, and we're going to take a quick timeout. We'll be back with more right after this on the ICC Sports Network.
Everyone has a unique story to tell. Maybe your story has you performing your new song in front of a crowd, getting to play your favorite sport, or enjoying a horseback ride in the country. At Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi, our group of skilled surgeons understand your need to continue your story. That is why we are the preferred choice for orthopedic care. Thank you for choosing us. Our story is you. Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi.
The Carhop Classic for just $2.99 is the perfect 1-2 punch of flavor and value.
Time that!
You need a trainer to help you eat the burger?
Hey, stay out of this.
Don't get in my head, man. There's barely room for me in there.
Hurry in and try quarter-pound double cheeseburger or 6-inch Philly plus tots for $2.99.
My mom never let me eat this much cookie dough.
What would she say if she saw you eating this big scoop cookie dough blast?
I don't know. Why ask her?
Don't tell your father.
Oh, naughty, naughty.
Hurry in and scoop up our new cookie dough treats. Try order ahead to get happy hour anytime.
And welcome back to action, ladies and gentlemen. 3-2 is the score. Good to see Allie Chenal able to walk off on her own power there, Coach. And that's one thing we talked about during the break. And, you know, I'm a guy that's had the concussions 3 times in my life. And
I've had a couple myself.
Yeah, and it's a point of emphasis, even if the player doesn't show any signs of, you know, being hit to the head, that the league has taken this year that if there is a head injury, you do send them out of the pit.
You have to.
Yeah,
I think you definitely have to.
Yeah, so, you know, I suffer from some repercussions of my,
absolutely.
of my concussion, so I think it's a great thing, and I think it's something really and truly that, not to the point that NFL, you know, you kind of take away from the game, but
let's look in on this real quick, because another foul real quick. You got a really, really good scoring opportunity for ICC right here, and then I want to get back to that because that is very, very important. But looks like Gaylor is going to take the kick, I guess. Yeah.
This is going to be Gaylor getting set to kick this one. ICC with a 3-2 advantage sends this one out right into the line.
I kind of like the look there, though. You know, having a shot from that distance, pulling the rest of the defense out to mark, and a little frustration on Gaylor's part right there. But no, we were speaking about concussions, Adam, and I didn't know this until I got kind of in the thick of coaching girls soccer. From data perspective and medically, from medical professionals, and there's research out here to support it. The #1 sport now for concussions is girls soccer nationwide, and then obviously, and #2 is boys soccer, and then after that is football. So you would never think that, but with the way the game of football has changed, you know, they've protected them really well. But it's good to see soccer also taking the same precautions.
And you look at the game of soccer, and this is, of course, I'm somebody that's only been around it for 9 years. As ICC now, we'll get to this point in a minute as they go out wide to Sarah Witt.
She may have a shot here.
She's going to step into it, puts it high, but it's a little bit too tall. But
I've seen her miss that shot a ton of times. I've also seen her make it a ton of times.
Yeah, same here, same here. So, but yeah, you know, a lot of people is like, wow, women's soccer. But I'll say this: women's soccer to me is a lot more aggressive and physical than men's soccer.
It is.
And with it being the game where you use your head often, you're going to have those type of collisions. And
sure.
So to me, in my 9 years of watching the sport, it's not surprising to hear that. But if you're not around it a little bit, you might be surprised to hear that stat. But it is. It's a very, I don't want to say violent sport, but it's a very aggressive, very physical sport.
Absolutely.
That a lot of people think, well, it's not supposed to be that way, but it is.
Oh, it absolutely is, man. And, you know, like we talked about, man, it's one of those deals where, you know, girls, it looks like it when you watch the games that they play with a little bit more effort. Guys are a little bit smoother, a little bit more athletic, so they don't have to strain as much energy to make a play. But girls go full blast, man. And, you know, when they collide, you know, especially with the head, man, it happens all the time.
So now Meridian with it. They're going to try to find the equalizer here, but a great job that time by Moore coming up and taking the ball away, and now ICC lets it settle. Maisie Sumner's back into the match here, as she will come in to replace Gaylor, who picked up a yellow card after that previous foul. This ball's
interesting to see her play the ball up big like that with with only a 3-on-4 break. But you know, that's the confidence in ICC that they have in their offense, is that they can actually beat that with a 3v4, especially with the speed they've got up top with Stevens and Mathis and Witt. I mean, it looks like almost like they've moved to a 3-forward front right here.
A lot of hard physical contact. Referee says play on there.
Yeah, I think if Mathis would have fell right there, she'd have got the foul.
Well, this is one thing I like about Brittany. You look at her right there wearing number 17. You saw her take that physical hit at midfield.
And then delivered one just about 10 seconds later.
She's a bulldog, and you need those type of players. And a lot of times you look at a smaller player, a statue on the field, you're like, And the next thing you know,
I've coached against that one several times, and it's no surprise to me that she's capable of that.
The strong, silent type, if you will.
Yeah, absolutely. Opposite of me.
Yes.
Weak and loud.
This ball goes forward. ICC is going to try to keep it in bounds. And
good job of Gilbert there holding up play there, because that could have been a big opportunity for Meridian.
And now you're starting to see the physicality pick up a little bit here between both these two teams. 3-2 is the score. Just under 31 minutes to play here in the second half. Ball's loose on the pitch. Sends this one forward, just trying to see if she can make something dangerous. And not a bad idea that time as a player from Meridian came charging in, and Driscoll came up and made the play.
Great decision right there by Driscoll to play the ball out by hand to Dexter into space instead of just losing it on a punt possibly. So now ICC has a chance to score with him immediately.
Here comes Stevens. She's going to send this one ahead to Mathis. Mathis out on the right wing, trying to cross over the defender. Great defense that time just to break up the opportunity.
Need a help side defender here just to try to gain possession of the ball back. Really good individual play.
So ICC is going to let it settle and try to survey the defense, see what they got. They want to swing it out
really
wide.
Good decision again there by Gilbert instead of forcing the ball. ICC's really focused in this half, you can tell.
Loden sends this one out wide to Witt. Witt's going to step out. Sends it across the middle, but broken up nicely by Meridian. ICC continues to make these attempts dangerous here as Meridian trying to get this one out. ICC taking advantage of their speed and able to recontrol the ball here. Reset, flipping the pitch here, trying to go on the attack on the right side, surveying the defense, what they've got. They go up to Stevens. Stevens now right back over the middle to Loden. Loden lost the touch, had a little bit of a push in the back, not enough to get a foul call.
Be a good time to swing here. That's another really, really good decision there. This is going to open up a shot here shortly, I can tell just by watching them swing the ball across the field.
Dexter with it over to Witt in the middle. You got to think Dexter had a pretty good opportunity to put a foot on the ball there from distance, but didn't elect to. Now ICC gets it back. This is Loden with it. Loden goes left-footed, and not just enough on it. So, but a good job that time, making it dangerous. One of those situations, felt somebody on her hip, thought she might be able to get a foul on the shot.
Absolutely. And this is kind of what we saw from the first 10 minutes from ICC is moving the ball around much better this half.
Good sign for ICC fans here below us as Ali Chanel is up and walking around and has been cleared by the trainer after taking that shot to the back of the head. She's asking Coach Strother to get back in the match, and Coach Strother's like, just get you a little bit of drink of water and rest a little bit more.
Definitely don't want to risk anything at this point, especially with a lead. Maybe if you can get another goal or two, put her back in the last part of the game just to make sure she's good with her head. All right, Witt with a big chance on a big run out here, and the numbers are about even. There's a defender lagging.
Witt getting physical down the stretch, and Coach, let's give credit, as that's going to be a foul on Witt. That number 6, Boutwell, she's been tough all over the place, and that time kind of just got in the hip pocket of Witt and just didn't let her have anything easy there, and Witt a little frustrated.
Yeah, both of them kind of got a little frustrated there. I'm laughing because I've seen that several times, Sarah. The emotions get the best of her, but she wanted to make a play there, so you can't fault that, but she just got a little carried away physically, so. But interesting to see how that ball played out. It was a good ball into her, and if it was just a hair more in front of her, she could have ran onto it instead of having to make a big dribble and letting the defender catch up. But, again, here we are. We're seeing it again. ICC moving the ball incredibly well. If they can get numbers up again and get Meridian on their heels, I expect them to keep it on this end of the field the rest of the half.
3-2 is the score. Stevens just blows by the defender. Tries to sit up left-footed, goes top shelf.
Man,
just too tall.
That was a little dangerous area right there to give her that much space because she's definitely got strong enough left foot.
Substitutions coming into the match here for ICC. That's going to be Maddie McGregor, Jada Ross, Alexis Hall, and Emily Hayward all into the match here for ICC. These substitutions being brought to you by First American National Bank, reminding you to follow the flag from Iuka to Tupelo. First American National Bank, a proud sponsor of ICC Athletics here on the ICC Sports Network. Send this one short. ICC comes up, and Hayward.
Good pressure immediately by Hayward there. Already forced a turnover. That's good stuff.
Yeah, that number 2, Holtz, that time looked like she thought about quickly sending it up the pitch, saw that Hayward was closing in a hurry, and took away her option of sending it forward, and a good defensive play that time by the Lady Indians. There's 27 minutes to play. ICC with a 3-2 advantage would love to find a little insurance goal here. And, of course, when we talk about your insurance goals, we talk about your Itawamba County Farm Bureau agent, Joey Cox. For all your insurance needs, stop by and see Joey right there on South Adams Street. He's my insurance guy. He should be your insurance guy, too. The former ICC All-American in football, Joey Cox.
You got burial insurance?
I don't.
I know a guy if you ever.
I might have to holler at you sometime on that.
I didn't say it was me. I just know a guy.
Yeah. If somebody were interested in that, how would they go about finding out more?
call the funeral home.
It's a moment for free advertising.
No, man. It just obviously there's several great funeral homes in the area. We're always honored if you choose ours. But
and yours is?
Oh, Holland Funeral Directors, obviously. But no, here's another good scoring chance here. If you get a little pressure in, Mathis with a great shot, man. What a shot. Another really good individual effort. All started with Hayward making a great play defensively over there, getting the ball into good space, and Mathis finishing after a bad touch.
Well, that time she went lower left corner, was able to stick that one home, and ICC takes that 4-2 lead. And Coach, this is 4 goals unanswered by this Lady Indian squad.
You know, and I'm not a prophet under any circumstance, but, you know, you could kind of sense it. You could definitely kind of sense that, you know, once this game got rolling and ICC got in the rhythm, that they could really put up some crooked numbers. So not surprising at all. Can't relax just yet. You know, there's still plenty of time on the clock. You don't want this to get to a 1-goal game. Good to see Chanel checking back in here. You know, we'll probably give her some run and make sure she's good to go. But I don't think ICC is going to stop here. I think they're going to continue to keep attacking. You know, playoffs on deck. You need to be sharp.
This substitution being brought to you by Kegel Eye Center, 862-EYES. That's 862-EYES. Set up your appointment to get your eyes checked there from our friends at Kegel Eye Center. Ball is out of bounds, and they said ICC ball, and Meridian tries to toss it in a hurry. So it will stay with Lady Indians. Ross will be set to send this one in. Jada, been battling a knee injury all season long, has come in over the past 2 weeks and has provided a already good ICC soccer team a little bit of more depth on that back line.
Yeah, absolutely, man, and a very athletic player too, man. Oh man, there was a really good window from Mathis there, and still got the ball to her feet. So it's, oh man,
sends this one across, looking for Hayward, and just broke up at the last second.
What a play by Mathis there, man. What a half by Mathis for that matter.
ICC gets it back, though, after Meridian tries to clear it out, goes out wide to Chanel. Chanel, man, a lot of room for her to go. She's going to fire, looks for the backside. And
they're Meridian kind of flirting with a disaster, leaving that much space right outside the 18, man, because that's when good shooters really, really love that area, man. If they can get their feet set and get on top of the ball and have a good strike, that's exactly where they want to shoot from.
Yeah, probably one of those situations, if you're Chanel, I'd like to see her dribble in a little bit more.
Yeah, she probably could have taken a touch there just to get a little bit better angle on the goal, give her a little bit more shooting space. But, she saw an opening and she took it. You can't ever really fault that, especially up 2 goals. Good opportunity to take a chance right there. And it looks like it just missed about a foot wide.
This is going to be substitutions into the match here for Meridian and ICC. It's going to be Taylor, Robertson, and Lahai checking into the match. And this is going to be Sarah Eckhoff coming into the match, and Sarah had a knee injury, and she is a sophomore getting an opportunity to play here on sophomore day.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. You know, you always definitely want to get all your sophomore some action, and you get an opportunity to do that being up 2 goals now. Definitely, obviously the knee injuries hampered her enough to where she couldn't play big minutes, so good to see her get on the field.
As this is the regular season finale, both for the men and the women this afternoon. Of course, Coach Strother having to double dip today, coaching the ladies, and then later on this afternoon the men, as Coach Mike Sullivan. He's has a couple of family members. His wife and his daughter Shannon have had some medical issues, and luckily doing good. On that end, Tammy is home, and Shannon is still looking to get better. So our thoughts and prayers are with the Sullivans, and hope they do well. I know Sully's probably watching right now and later on today, and might even be watching with Shannon. So hopefully Shannon's got the patience to be able to deal with her dad while he watches a little bit later on today. Now here comes ICC. Mathis, nice quick touch, and if that wasn't any help defense on the backside that time, it would have been a tricky opportunity there and just a little bit of frustration.
Smart play by the defender there. She didn't need to play with that one much longer because Mathis would have got it there. It's direct on goal shot. So
yeah, Mathis is, and I've said this a couple of times about her, she's like a gnat. One of those you just swat at and never goes away.
Us in the Northeast Mississippi soccer world would like to call her an ankle biter.
An ankle biter. There you go. I need to remember.
New term for you to use on future broadcasts.
Yes, I will most definitely use that. This one sent ahead and headed out of bounds that time. And, Coach, that has to hurt.
It doesn't feel great.
Yeah.
But I played goalkeeper, so I didn't have to do it quite as much.
I got you.
You know, when I was coming up playing soccer, that was the coolest thing is, you wanted to be able to head the ball. Yeah. And, of course, we all just messed around and just, we'd nonstop try to do it. So that's why we're all kind of a little loony now.
Yeah, so your cheese isn't securely on your cracker, I guess you could say. as this ball is going to be thrown in here by Meridian. And now you're starting to see Meridian, a team that was aggressive. The attackers kind of forced the issue a little bit earlier on in the contest. Looking up at the scoreboard with 22 minutes left, they see that they were up 2-0, now down 4-2.
High kick. Yeah, he missed that.
He's going to say no. He says play on. And so now here comes ICC. Mathis with it, trying to stay with it now. Here she goes, looking for a cross. And
really good defensive play that time.
But, yeah, it's just – for Meridian, you kind of deflated because you played well. You had the
really
top
did,
two.
and the game plan worked for a while. You kept it. You had a lead. You kept it tight for a while, and then ICC got it level, and then the floodgates kind of opened.
Millie Mask into the contest here for ICC. Another substitution coming in here for the Lady Indians, trying to make sure they could get some valuable minutes in some of these freshmen also on sophomore day that will have to step up and play an important role next season for ICC, and including going into the playoffs as well. Millie out of Nettleton, she's played some pretty good minutes for ICC this season.
We talked about the depth, man, and then the ICC's definitely got it, man, and that's one thing that's kind of separated them from the rest of the MACJC this year, man, is that being able to put a lot of quality players on the field at one time and then being able to take those same players off and be able to and replace them with an equally good player. Maybe be a sophomore freshman situation, not as much experience, but getting some freshmen some really good minutes here.
This one was sent in that time, a little bit off frame, but there was Anna Wesley Driscoll. Coach, you said you were a keeper playing back in your day, just about 5 years ago? It could be difficult being a keeper, especially with a team like ICC when they've just dominated the field position and haven't really had much action. You kind of just get back there.
Almost got some action right there.
You did. But as a keeper, sometimes you can almost fall asleep or maybe just your
I can tell you this: your mind is always playing games within a game back there. When things are not really, you hadn't touched the ball in a while. You have to be able to talk to yourself and.
I'd be a perfect keeper.
Oh, exactly. You have to be able to stay in the game. And really the best thing to do is to be able to talk to your outside backs. When the ball's flipped, being able to tell your outside backs or your center backs, hey, be an option for her in the middle. Doing stuff to stay active throughout the game.
We have a player shaking up here, and they're going to stop the clock. As it looks like hopefully just cramping in this sense, or she was trying to stretch her leg out there for Meridian. Let's take a quick timeout here from Kegel Eye Center and be back with more right after this on the ICC Sports Network.
The longer a person has diabetes, the more likely they are to develop diabetic retinopathy. If left untreated, diabetic retinopathy can lead to blindness. That's why it's important for diabetics to have a comprehensive eye examination with dilation once a year. I'm Dr. Laurie Kegel of Kegel Eye Center in Fulton. We offer comprehensive eye exams to provide diagnosis and treatment of various eye diseases. Browse our large selection of frames available in prescription and non-prescription. Call to schedule your appointment today at Kegel Eye Center in Fulton.
And welcome back as the young lady from Meridian was able to make her way off the field on her own power. 4-2 is your score. ICC with the lead, 19:52 to go here in the contest. Sophomore day for the Lady Indians this afternoon. They were recognized before the match started. Of course, we'll have that available for you on our YouTube channel next week. Not going to get it up this weekend, folks. I apologize for those. We do try to have a 12-hour turnaround on our videos. But after that drive to Southwest, the matches today.
You'd be lucky to have a 12-hour turnaround on your sleep.
I just want 12 hour. Yeah, I just want a 12-hour break between work right now. But we will. I say that, but you know what? I'll be back in the office Saturday.
Of course.
It's just true.
I feel the same way.
Yeah. So ICC with it now. They take a 4-2 advantage here in the regular season finale. They will await to see who they get on Tuesday in the opening round of the playoff. Now here comes Hayward. Hayward sends it across the middle, looking for Stevens. That one kind of ekes its way through and eventually finds its way back to Ali Chanel.
Shot here.
Chanel dribbling around and trying to find Eckhoff. And Eckhoff, if she able to get to it, yes, she is. And, Coach, that's one of those where I like to play a Chanel. She knows Eckhoff is in the game, hasn't had the opportunity to play this year because of injuries. Wanting to see if you couldn't get your fellow sophomore a chance to
get her a touch anyway right there. Just a little bit too much on the ball. And great effort by Eckhoff trying to get there to play across.
And that's kind of just a representation of this ICC team. Chanel could have easily fired that one on herself. But she was unselfish and wanted to go ahead and get that one ahead to her teammate there. This is going to be sent out of bounds, so to go back to ICC. And
I think McGregor just took one off the sternum there.
Yeah.
A little shook up. It's a funny little quick story here. I coached Maddie for 5 years, obviously, and we're playing at New Albany one night, and she took a hard spill and kind of a crunching 2 feet at the same time, different players.
Yeah.
And she came off at halftime. She's like, I'm just not feeling good. My foot, it just hurts really, really bad.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, well, take your shoe off. She took her shoe off, and, like, her toes were black. I was like, man, I think you broke your toes. She's like, well, can I play? I was like, no, you cannot tonight.
That's kind of an important part of the game here. You need your foot. But it goes back to that mentality we were talking about earlier about the women's game of soccer.
Oh,
what
a
great
ball.
sin.
Hayward man.
That'd
have been a great cap-off right there, man. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was a great sin that time by Stevens. She'll check out of the contest. Grace Joyce will come back in. But, Coach, we go back to that point you're talking about Maddie, and that's a perfect representation of the level of play. Again, we're not slighting the guys by any sense.
No, absolutely.
But it's just that gutsy, that bulldog mentality that you see in the women's game of soccer.
Well, one thing that's different here that's not necessarily the case in international soccer is our women's team just so happens to be the best team in the world.
Right.
Most years. I mean, several World Cup champions several times. They just the best. Some of the best women's players on the planet are U.S. players, and it definitely has leaked over, I guess you'd say, into youth, and then of course high school and soccer. And the men's game is still kind of trying to catch up to that a little bit because U.S. did a really, really good job many years ago of making soccer an opportunity for women, I guess you'd say, whereas men had so many other sports to play. So, it's not surprising to see the women's game a little bit ahead of the men's game at this point. But obviously, as years turn, and time goes by, both sides are getting extremely competitive, especially on the college level for sure.
So throw in here by Meridian. There's 16:50 left to play in the contest. ICC with a 4-2 advantage. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people say, well, this one kind of felt like it's been controlled by ICC, throughout the second half, and it has. But there's a shot here, and now the putback, and no! Was unable to send that one home. Such a tough break there for Meridian.
I don't understand what the call is here.
Are they going to say it's a goal? Let's look at it on the replay here. Meridian thinking it went in. Deflected there. No, it never went in.
Well, let me tell you, I can speak to why that ball for sure did not go in. Had it gone in, it would have bounced underneath the bar on the line, and it has to cross the full line. Obviously, it didn't, so the ball would have never shot off back into play had it actually crossed the threshold. But I'm interested to see what the actual call was. It may have been Driscoll using her body to shield off without the ball. She has to make a play on the ball, can't make a play on the player. So a little drama here late in this game. If Meridian can convert this, I think if you're Coach Smith, you have to change up kind of how you're playing. But right at the keeper, so no issue there. And I think ICC's probably thinking ball don't lie right now. So.
Exactly. And a great job. A prime example of why Anna Wesley Driscoll has been one of the top keepers in the state this year.
In a dangerous spot here for Meridian. ICC already back on the attack.
Chanel fires from distance, and that one to hop in, an easy save there for Meridian. I like the attack, though, by ICC. Meridian a little bit deflated after not getting that call before. Then the stop by Driscoll trying to take advantage of them not getting back.
Well, when you get a penalty kick, it's practically like a free throw, I guess you'd say, just maybe with like a half of a rim available.
Yeah.
You got somebody back there to protect, but really good read on Driscoll's part to figure out which side, and that's the toughest thing for almost any position to do in all of sports is a penalty kick on the goalkeeper side, because you're not supposed to win that battle.
No.
But she made a good guess, and it's always a plus to see that she was confident in which side she wanted to go.
Joyce leaves this one out wide to Hayward, sends it across the middle, and just
Eckhoff with a chance. You make it put one on frame.
Eckhoff fires, and no, that one wasn't there. And Coach, that just would have been a good feel.
Man, that was a storyline thing right there.
And she's got a smile on her face as she comes back to her position. And now momentum there for a second. We were talking about it. Meridian not out of this thing by any stretch of the imagination.
That made PK right there would have been, you're looking at a one-goal game, and they'd definitely be trying to chase a goal from that point on.
And now here comes Hayward trying to send it across the middle to Joyce. It was broken up nicely that time by Meridian. Now he's going to send this one out wide, and Joyce that's Hayward, who now wants to send this one over the middle. Loading in. Loading. That was Wales that was there.
Yeah. Needed a backside outside mid right there to be able to finish that up. Great play by Eckhoff right there defensively.
Really like the play out of Eckhoff, as looks like we'll get a substitution into the match. But let's give tips of the cap here. Eckhoff, as we said, had that knee injury.
Absolutely.
She's come in and gave
great effort in the last few minutes, especially on that knee injury.
Yeah, I would say 120% out of Eckhoff to be able to come in and battle, and not only battle, but battle like she didn't have that knee injury.
Absolutely, played at full speed as hard as she could go right there.
And she was a little fiery.
Yeah,
she had to come out.
Yeah,
David's
a little hesitant to come off.
Look, take a breath. We're trying to get you back in here in the next few minutes. So Meridian getting set to throw this one in. And that one's going to be taken away. This is going to be McGregor who lets it settle now.
Oh, great ball right there.
Wells.
I just couldn't touch it quick enough.
Ross steps in front of it.
Ross been huge today, man. She's really locked down this side of the field. And, of course, you got your ultimate security blanket in Hall right there. If it gets too deep, she's going to get to it first.
Yeah, she's quicker than Walt Flanagan's dog. As Hall's able to just cover a lot of territory in a short amount of time as she sends that one out of bounds, allowing her teammates to set back up and get set up here defensively. Remind you to stay tuned. The men's action will be coming your way next. We'll probably have about a 10-minute break in between the contest. Now, we will not have the men's sophomore day. That's scheduled for Tuesday of next week. So you want to be sure and tune in there. That ball sent forward. Sumner has it. Now it's bouncing around.
Pinball there.
And still bouncing around. And now ICC will let it settle. Ross has it. Wants to send this one down the pitch if she can find
good
Joyce.
Stuff right there. You just touch it first. Oh, man.
Yep. And Meridian not going quietly into the night here as they're fighting, scrapping, and trying to find a way through. With 12:20 to go, they trail at 4-2.
And number 3, Cook there for Meridian. I don't blame her for trying to play a big ball deep there. Just you've got to try to get back in your offensive third, and I think she was trying to slip one past Hall there, which is not an easy task, obviously. So.
And sometimes you take those opportunities. You send it down
the pitch. We got a card.
And I didn't see what it was.
I didn't have
Hayward.
Mouthy. Too much salsa.
Yeah, yes. Here's the thing, and again, I try my best to not really get on officials, especially in sports I don't know a lot about. But this deep in the season, unless a magic word is said, let that go.
That's one thing that soccer's always struggled with, at least in this part of the world in the past several years, is relationship between players and official, because it is the only sport where the coach can't actively talk to an official without stopping play. So you have to have speaking captains. You have to have people be able to keep their head. But it's a lot of them have thicker skin. But I teach my baseball players. We tell our soccer players, your job is not to talk to the officials. That's our job. And you can get you can catch a lot more flies with honey than you can vinegar.
Exactly. Now the back line for ICC trying to step up. Meridian looking to make it a 1-goal game, and a nice job there by Driscoll.
Really, really good job of the back four right there, pushing Spears to the outside, cutting her angle with the goal. And then you notice Driscoll shifted to that side right there. She would have had to have an incredible shot to get it past her.
And that was Sumner that forced that ball out to the left side, and that's going to be an unfortunate handball there as the ball just popped up high. Let's go back to that, the talking points. We've seen some referees that they don't allow anything. I've seen a couple on this league that argue back with the players, and that's one I really
unacceptable.
Yeah, when
your job is to control the game, not to bicker with 18 and 19-year-old kids. So
and my this is my train of thought. Of course, you being a coach and being around the sport a little bit more than I have, or a lot more than I have. In my case, if you're the referee, you say the first time, maybe let them have their case. Second time, be like, all right, look, that's enough.
Don't say anything else, or I'm going to
card you. The third time, then there you go.
And but the best ones keep it concise like that.
And if you initiate that conversation, in my opinion, you can't pull that card out of your pocket just because you're initiating
it's an easy out for an official because the card stops everything, So it's
kind of like a personal foul penalty in football.
Absolutely.
You throw it, call it offsetting, look at everybody around you, say, all right, it stops now.
Yeah, we're not gonna tolerate this. And then those are usually the best the center referee there. So. One of the best gigs in sports is the AR, because typically you're always just going out of bounds. But a lot of times fouls do happen, so it's good to have a good relationship between your center and your AR.
Now ICC with it is Witt just kind of gets tripped up amongst everybody. Now sends it over
play
the middle.
Right there. I thought she was going to have a shot there, loading.
Now Chanel
from distance. She could take another stab at it here.
Now she fires, goes top shelf, and
great save by Carter there.
Yeah, beautiful save that time, and just if she could have
good setup offense though. Either way, Witt got the ball, fell down, popped back up, played it really, really good ball in to feed, and then she got it across to Chanel.
This 50-50 ball sent down the pitch.
Great play
Mass
by Mass
comes in and breaks it up. Good job by the referee. Look, he wanted to call the foul at first, but said continue on here in this situation.
Saying hello to David Marquez there.
Yes.
David.
And Ross
here we go.
takes
Another
this one
opportunity
away.
here for the girls.
Jada playing that back line. You know she would love to get an opportunity to get in there, maybe have a shot on goal. Try to send it ahead to Witt, and Ross breaks it up. And it's going to track back, and Meridian will let it settle. And this was going to be sent out of bounds. It will stay with ICC.
The relentless pressure by the outside players from ICC, as far as your forwards, your outside mids, your outside backs, to force the players from the other team to play the ball out of bounds, it's really impressive, man, because it allows the rest of your team not to relax, but to get into where you're supposed to be. You hear coaches a lot of the time say stuff like get your shape. You know, when they say get your shape, they want you to get in formation, like where you're supposed to be exactly. So that's helping that out in a big regard, especially today.
Eckhoff re-enters the contest here for ICC as Chanel heads toward the sideline. It was also Boswick checking in for Meridian as well. These substitutions.
She ain't from Ryanzi.
No, that's a
of the Boschwitz.
Yes, the Ryanzi Boschwitz. That substitution being brought to you once again by the Kegel Eye Center, 862-EYES, 862-EYES to set up your eye appointment there at Kegel. This ball set up the pitch, and Ross, who has been lights out today, coming in once again and forcing the ball away, and ICC gets it back.
They're really forcing Witt's side here, and it's interesting because it's a lot of one-on-ones. There's a great ball into Loden right there. ICC had a little trouble. They've had a little trouble today as far as finding the right speed, right pace of ball and of play to get it back into their forwards. But forwards have done a good job of holding up play and getting to wait till the midfield gets into the attack.
Now McGregor with it. She's going to try to size things up, sends it back over to Loden. Loden now goes out wide to Witt. Witt looking for someone to cross it to, and he's going to let it settle, and now wants to work 1v1 and sits it back over the middle to Loden. Now ICC just going to back it back out. Almost feels like a four-corner set.
Yeah, it's that old Notre Dame box, right?
There you go. And they're going to look like we're going to have an offside call here on the Indians, and I think you're starting to see a lot of players that have been on the pitch quite a while now, getting a little winded out there. With
it's been a fast game. It's been a physical game. It's no surprise to see some numbers get put in this late.
So now Meridian with it over the middle, and that's going to be McGregor who steps in front of it. Now sends it ahead. Loden with it now quickly. I believe this is Wells.
Good quick twitch passing here.
Trying to send it ahead. Good idea. And again, I look at Boutwell. If anybody has shined today defensively, it's been Boutwell. Did a good job once again. Couldn't get to the ball, but what she did was got in the way of the angle of pursuit that time by Joyce to take it away from her.
And one thing, it's misconstrued in this sport. A lot of the time, people say, we want to eliminate goals. You really want to eliminate shots.
Yes.
Because shots are what lead to goals, obviously, and the more teams get in the rhythm of shooting, the more opportunity they're going to have to score. Because I'm not a big on erasing goals. I want to erase the shot that makes the goal happen, or even the pass for that matter. So, yeah, Boutwell's done a really good job of that today.
This ball tossed in, and it's going to be Witt with it now. Sends it back to Ross, and Ross
could be an
trying to go over the
opportunity
top.
here after a bad touch.
Was trying to find Joyce, and I think that's one of those where Loden kind of committed to the ball and realized
she had to stop herself and couldn't. Then she turned her head away from the ball because she knew she's, I'm about to run into somebody.
Yeah. So 4-2 is the score. 5.5 to play here in the contest. ICC has rattled off 4 unanswered goals to take this 4-2 advantage. Adam Gore, McKinley Holland bringing this action.
Opportunity, big run in here. Just a little too much. Really impressive individual play right there by number 3, Hannah Cook.
And then just
mass exodus on some subs here.
Yeah, let's go ahead and try to run these in. The Hallie Moore is going to be into the contest. Costa into the contest. Chanel back into the contest. Looks like Mathis also coming back into the contest for ICC. Those substitutions being brought to you by Davis Ford. For your next new or used automobile, stop by and see the fine folks at Davis Ford, which is a chip shot away from us here in the ICC Alumni Foundation broadcast.
Speak for yourself. My short game ain't that good.
Visit DavisFordAutoSales.com or just come by and see them. Tab and all the great folks doing a great job there at Davis Ford. Meridian, however, fires, and that one's going to be scooped up and saved that time by Driscoll.
Good job again finding space. Driscoll's been fantastic today.
Now
we
Mathis
got
with
Chenal
us.
and the looks kind of like the Pontotoc trio up there with Joyce.
Now Chenal wants to fire from distance.
Just a little too much.
Yep. And the keeper
about caught some pole there.
She did, and it was. I don't know if it had some weird spin on it. It's almost like she didn't know how to react to it once it hit the ground.
Hey,
and
let me tell you, man, I've seen if you don't know your positioning back there, you were talking about keepers relaxing in a game that's not very contested, man. You know, you don't know where you are on the field, and you see a shot like that, okay, it's going out, and all of a sudden you look up into the back of the net.
ICC gets it back now. This is Eckhoff. He's going to drop it ahead to Joyce. Joyce turns, now dribbles inside, looking for somewhere to fire, and that one's just going to be a little bit too tall as it goes over the backstop, and it will be a goal kick coming up here for Meridian. 4-2 is the score, 3.5 to play in this one. And, Coach, you're starting to feel a little bit better about wrapping this one up in red and blue.
Yeah, I think so, man. It would take some serious play here. You almost would really need to score off after about 2 passes from this goal kick right here just to have a chance if you're Meridian. ICC's in a position to really kind of kill this clock, salt this one away. Fully expect him to do it, but interesting to see Coach Strother still got his numbers pressed up. You know, I love to see that the aggressiveness late in the game because you may need it next week.
Absolutely. Now let's talk about Meridian. They came out and they gave ICC everything they wanted in.
Yeah, this was not a 3-11 effort today.
Not at all.
It was they deserve to be praised for their play and how hard they played the whole game. But just at the end, it's just the better team won, you know, and it's kind of expected. But, you know, I don't think the score would have been, and the flow of the game has been a little bit different than probably both teams expected. But hats off to Meridian for a great game.
This ball's going to be sent out wide, and Anna Wesley's going to come up and make the play on it. But that's what you got to do as a team or an underdog in these type situations. And we're not belittling or sliding Meridian by any chance of their imagination, but it's what you got to do. You got to come out swinging. If you're going to knock out the champ, you got to hit them early, and that's what Meridian did.
Yeah, they absolutely did. They just couldn't hold on, man, and that's a big. And that's really a credit to ICC more so than it is anything.
Mathis trying to get to that before it goes out of bounds, does so. Now sends it back to Chenal. Chenal's going to survey the defense
here.
Now to Joyce.
Oh, man, that was a great shot, man. Just barely missed near corner.
Good, strong shot that time and went top shelf. Just a little bit too tall that time. And it's one of those that you'd like to see the aggressiveness like that out of ICC, especially pushing towards the playoffs.
And then the playoff starts next Tuesday, right?
Yes.
So, I mean, you know, you got to be on your P's and Q's. You know, you're 3 days away from playing in a game that can end your season. So good to see them really still playing well this late in the game and attacking.
Maisie was able to get that one, sends it ahead to Witt now on the left side of the pitch. Witt's going to swing wide, see what she's got. She does have Joyce trailing up the middle.
Great ball.
Oh, Joyce just couldn't quite get tall enough to it that time. And
got a little jumbled up in the box there. The runs overlapped each other.
So now this one is going to be sent ahead. Now here's the thing. Now you look at it. Everybody's like, well, ICC's had this opportunity, that opportunity. Well, when those opportunities, say next week, maybe that ball bounces a little bit differently, and all of a sudden you look at it, you've put 5 or 6 on the board.
Well, and that's, you know, that specific play right there, that's one of the hardest things to do is get a ball out of the air and finish it high with a head, because not only do you, I mean, the head's the hardest thing to be accurate with, obviously, because your head's round and your foot is flat. So when you hit it with your foot, you kind of know where it's going. When you hit it with your head, you have no idea. So just kind of an unfortunate bounce there, but, you know, it takes goals like that to win playoff games. You know, it's good to see that, you know, great ball in by Witt there. And I think if Mathis and Joyce could have that back, one of them would hold up their run so that the ball may have bounced right 2 feet there.
Well, in about 35 seconds, we'll move into our Renaissance Bank post-game report. Coach, be thinking about your final thoughts on today's match here for ICC as they send this one ahead. Looking for Mathis, deflected away by who else but Boutwell to come up and make a big play there.
Man. She's really kept this game respectable. Speaking of games that could have been 6 to 7 goals, Boutwell's kept about 8 shots from happening inside that box.
This ball sent down the pitch. It's going to be a jump ball. Eckhoff trying to get to it. Just couldn't quite get a full extension on that. Now here comes Meridian. See if they can find something in the final seconds.
I'm interested to see how Spears handles this. She plays it off or tries to have a shot. It's probably a shot right here. Tried it.
Yep, and there was Ross to take it away, and that's going to do it. Your final score here from Fulton. ICC picks up a 4-2 win over Meridian. Extends that win streak now to 14 straight matches, and they improved to 15-3 overall. Meridian falls to 3-12-1. Coach, your thoughts on today's match?
Well, man, you know, we kind of touched on it briefly the last 5 minutes there. You know, I thought Meridian's effort was phenomenal. I thought that, you know, they they definitely brought it today when they didn't necessarily have to. Season ends today for them. For ICC, kind of good to get hit in the mouth like that. You know that you're not invincible even though you have the big winning streak. I know that Coach Strother over the next 3 or 4 days will have a really, really good plan about how to attack whoever it is they're playing. And I know that ICC will probably be tentatively watching that Holmes and Hines matchup to see kind of where they're going to stand. So going to be interesting to see how the playoff matches up, and I expect ICC to play with their strengths.
Of course, we are in the Renaissance Bank postgame report, the best bank in the South, renaissancebank.com. Also, don't forget to visit renaissancennation.com as well. Well, Coach, one thing we've got to do, we've got to select our Sonic star of the game. Who stood out to you today, and who do you think we can tab, or we can call multiple players if you want to. I'll let you have the honors of selecting our Sonic star
well,
of the game.
I appreciate that, man. I think for ICC, definitely Brittany Mathis. The spark she provided in the second half with that goal, I thought she was phenomenal. Obviously, I thought Driscoll was fantastic in goal. The two mishaps, that was kind of a collective, poor kind of thing that happened there in the first half, but she was great the second half as well. The midfield for ICC, there's a lot of names to go around. A good come-from-behind team win altogether.
And I think that's the best summary of this soccer team this season has been the fact that not really one certain player, they'll stand up in one game, be somebody else the next thing. I think, that team mentality kind of wraps it up perfectly there for the Lady Indians. Well, McKinley, I know you've got some things you got to get to.
Yeah.
I appreciate you coming in.
Man, it's been a pleasure. We'll do it again.
Yeah, I hope you do, man. I know the fans have enjoyed listening to somebody that actually knows something about soccer for a change. So we're going to take a break and be back in about 15 minutes with the start of the men's action. Lady Indians win it 4-2 in the regular season finale. They'll be back in action on Tuesday in the playoffs. Don't go anywhere, folks. Back with more right after this on the ICC Sports Network.
Ever since you got that license, you haven't stopped moving forward. Now that you're older and on the move, you need a safer place to keep your money. We get it. A student checking account frees you up with things like mobile check deposit to take care of that check from grandma without having to stop at a bank. Pay with your phone when you're out with friends. And stop worrying about ATM fees. We'll pay you back for those. Worry about your future, not your money. And know that we'll stick with you, wherever you go. Renaissance Bank, understanding you. Member FDIC.